Um, I test. Okay, mic is on now. Okay, sorry. Um, I need to like check the rule book or something because I don't understand what exactly is supposed to be a foul now. I was told and read a whole bunch of articles about how the high five got changed to a foul. Because that's something that has always been a non-foul for most of its time. And when we talk high five, we're talking about this action. So if I'm the shooter and a defender comes in like this, that's the high five. That's been called a foul all season long. Not to mention then that Knipple landed on Collins' foot. And so I think the Bulls just got away with absolute murder tonight. And we're able to just skitty on out of here with the win. So, get out of here before things change. Like, start the bus up, fly out of here because holy shit, I think you just got away with the officials making the biggest mistake possible. Courtney Kirkland legit said high five on that play, and I'm just like, yeah, that's a foul. That's been called a foul all season long. There's been articles talking about that being changed, and somehow I guess it's not a foul anymore. So, Bulls just skedaddle on out of here. Just get out before things happen because holy shit. I wonder if the Hornets are gonna appeal this because holy God, bro. Like, that's a challenge I think Billy Donovan didn't deserve to win, but they won it. So, good job. I honestly don't know how to feel about this one. This is like, I honestly don't feel good about this game at all for the Bulls, but hey, you got the win when you should have gotten the win, so at least we're making some progress there. Some guys returned tonight. Okoro probably had his best game of the season, which is good to see, I guess. Patrick Williams had his best game of the season after I just wrote an article about how terrible his two-point shots have been, and he shot 100% from two-point range in today. He had to travel though on a drive though, so it's not you know, not perfect game, but it's definitely something. We finally see the Bulls actually put together like a good offensive game. It's been a while since the Bulls actually have had a good offensive game. 80 plus points in terms of points in the paint tonight, so that was good to see. But I don't feel that good, especially knowing that I think we just got away with murder. Because Knipple got fouled on that. I'm shocked that got overturned. And like I said, the Bulls need to just get the hell on out of here. If you're wondering if the Bulls play better defense this game, they didn't. Their offense just finally showed up. And it's been a damn while since we've seen the Bulls offense actually like score and actually look efficient. And they did a good job of limiting the turnovers in the second half. They had 10 turnovers in the first half though, which is disgustingly terrible, but they were able to figure it out finally. So yeah, great game from Giddey tonight. On the offensive end, defensively, he was awful. I think in the entire Bulls defense was awful, though. So we'll just blame the entire defense on everybody. But I don't understand why this man was not closing this game tonight. I was lost, honestly, of why this guy didn't close. Doesn't make me feel good that Billy Donovan decided to bench Buzelis for like the last like 4 minutes of this game. I didn't understand that. But we at least benched Vooch for basically the entire second half, which has been needed since like 10 games ago. So at least Donovan did one right thing, which is that he decided to bench this man forever. And I hope that he honestly doesn't start next game, which he shouldn't. But we know he will. But I'm sorry. I don't understand why Buzelis was benched to end this game. So not happy about that whatsoever, but let's give a like button, hit the like button for the win tonight because holy shit, the Bulls just got away with murder. And it's good to see some of these guys come back and actually have some decent games. It's been kind of, you know, we've been missing some guys obviously, but we just also need to just see the team actually make some shots around the rim. And they finally did that tonight. The Bulls have finally showed up and are like, oh wow, see, we can actually make shots around the rim. Wow, we take a lot of shots at the rim, but we're also terrible around the rim. We finally came in and we actually made shots around the rim. What a great surprise tonight. It finally did happen, but long-term outlook, I won't lie. You didn't win this game with Buzelis on the floor. You won this game with your vets, and I'm like, okay, well, at least it wasn't Vucevic, so at least there's that silver lining at the end of the day. Let's go. Let's talk about this. Let's go. Halftime, we're down 6, bro. The end of that second quarter was so horrible by the Bulls. This was not a clean game by the Bulls whatsoever. The second half was nice to see, like basically at the end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter, where the offense was like really starting to actually look solid. But defensively, this team was just flat out awful this entire game. Can't guard guys, apparently. Can't guard anybody. And I'm just like watching Miles Bridges just cook guys. Especially at the end of that second quarter where he was just cooking Giddey. I'm just like, God, bro, like Giddey's on Miles Bridges because he can't guard the guards, and so we have to put Buzelis on Knipple, and I'm like, what are we doing, man? Like, it was just so disgusting to see. And I don't know, it somehow worked out in the end. The double big lineup actually worked, so maybe there's actually something there. But God, man, I still don't think this defense was really that good tonight, man. It was awful defensively. Kobe shot 15 shot attempts, Giddey 17, Okoro 11, Trey 9, and then you got Matis and 3 or 4 more people with 8 shots each. Seriously, what the fuck is government doing? What's the Bulls playing here? I don't know, honestly, man. Like, this is one of those wins where I'm just like kind of scratching my head because I'm like, wow, Patrick Williams had his best game in the season. Okoro had his best game in the season. Giddey had a great game offensively overall, but like bad game from Kobe. This was not the best game from Kobe at all. He was very inefficient. And then like Buzelis is like shooting fine, and I'm like, why isn't he out there? I don't get it. At least you bench Vucevic in this game, which was good. You play the other 2 centers down the stretch of this game, which you absolutely should have. Like, it's honestly not that shocking to see. And so I guess this is like okay. Like, I don't know how to feel about this one at all, honestly. It's a like half win, I guess, for the Bulls. It's like, yeah, good job, but also, like, where's this guy? Like, good job here. Where's this guy? He's not playing enough. And then this was not a good game from Kobe, honestly. Like, he had some massive struggles and just had some massive, just bad decisions down the stretch of this game. Tried to draw a foul, like, on a shot that was just like, you're not going to get that call. Missed the layup that Collins was able to get. It was just like, okay, well, not loving that. Also missed a free throw. I mean, I understand he's in trade rumors right now. We will definitely be talking about those trade rumors in this game, or sorry, in this stream, but, wow. Yeah, like, offense, like, Okoro scoring 15 is never on the cards. Neither is Patrick Williams scoring 16, and he is making his 2-point shots, so good job there. Collins still had a hell of a game. Good job by Zach Collins tonight, and I'm hoping his wrist is good. He was definitely grabbing it throughout that game, but I'm hoping that his wrist is going to be okay. Dumbest coaching choice was for the majority of the game. Kobe White was on Khan. It seemed that it isn't on Kobe that is just awful coaching. So, to me, the main defender on Knipple was Matis Buzelis tonight. I heavily disagree with that decision. I did not understand that whatsoever. The Bulls starting lineup, the way that they guarded the guys, it was basically like, okay, you're gonna have to put initially to start the game, it was you put Giddey on Bridges, which I was like, okay, and then you had Okoro on Brandon Miller, you had White on Simpson, and then you had Buzelis on Knipple, and I was just like, okay, let's see how this goes. And wasn't the best. I mean, like, the Bulls won the first quarter, but it wasn't the best overall, and we saw it in the second quarter where it just was starting to burn us. Then there was a switch. Like, we saw the Bulls kind of switch things around. We saw then Okoro go on to Bridges for a little bit, and then we saw Giddey guard Brandon Miller instead, which I think that was better. I didn't love it still. Giddey still gave up some shots to Miller that was just like, oh. But it worked out a little bit better. We saw a lot of just kind of moving around in terms of just defensive assignments in the second half, which was better. I still don't love, honestly, any of the defensive assignments, and again, this core just still bothers the heck out of me defensively, but it was better, I guess, in the second half compared to the first half where Giddey was just getting cooked by Bridges, man. Like, there's just nothing that Giddey can do, and it's his lack of inability to defend, but it's just like, he's on Bridges because he can't guard the other guys, honestly. So guarding Brandon Miller is, like, I guess the best option. But, like, it was also because Miller wasn't shooting, honestly, the best throughout this game. So I guess that just kind of how it ended up being. But I honestly, Miller was like kind of scoring the way he was scoring in the previous Charlotte game. I don't know. Like, I don't know where we should have put Giddey or even Kobe, honestly, besides putting him on Simpson. But yeah, whenever Giddey was guarding, like Giddey guarded Simpson on one possession and like just decided to try to go under the screen, and Simpson hit a step back three. I was just like, okay, like, where are we gonna put you, man? Like, at least he figured it out, I guess, on Miller, but then he was on Bridges to end the game, and then he gave up a layup in crunch time, and I was just like, So, good job offensively. He made some major shots down the stretch, and it was good to see that, because that's not been a thing in Giddey's game this entire season. So, good job there. But, holy hell, man, defensively, I'm so annoyed. Still, I can't stand it. Flip side, let's celebrate. Billy actually took Vooch off the closing minutes, which was the difference maker to have Collins out there. That clutch rebound into trade pass was actually a great moment. That was a good moment to see. Vucevic did not play basically since the middle of the third quarter. Like, he didn't play the end, like the second half of the third quarter into then he didn't play the entire fourth. So, good job, honestly, Billy. Like, Vucevic just needed to be just benched for a long time. And then Vucevic had that sequence in the second half or second quarter it was, and I was just like, oh my god, like, what are we doing, man? Where he inbounded it, turned it over, Simpson then missed the shot, and then Vucevic got out rebounded by Simpson for the putback. It was just like, I said at that point Vucevic needed to be benched, and he didn't get benched then. Billy then benched him in the third quarter at least, thank God. So that was good. Collins had a hell of a game. Collins was by far the better player out there tonight. That was good to see. It's been a long time coming for that, and it finally did happen. So at least Billy is at least not fully unaware of things, but it took a damn while for it to happen, which was needed. I didn't see the whole game, but how much did Okoro guard Khan? Not much, because we needed Okoro to be guarding Brandon Miller or Miles Bridges tonight because no one could stop Bridges. So it was not much for Okoro tonight. Also, why is Dalen Terry still in the league? I don't know. I think he'll be out of the league once his contract is up after this season. I mean, barely beating the Hornets while Buzelis doesn't play in the clutch doesn't feel good at all. Once again, ruining their lottery odds at the cost of player development in the Bulls' way. Yeah, like it. At least in my opinion, you're not ending this game with Vucevic like carrying you or like making the shot down the stretch. At least it was Giddey that was like making some big shots down the stretch of this one, which is huge. But what Charles just said earlier, where it was like Collins got that rebound for that Trey Jones dunk, like, that's cool. That's obviously better than obviously having Vucevic out there, but it's like those are two vets. So I don't know. It's just not the best feeling to end this game, unfortunately. I need Buzelis out there. Like, whether we win or lose this game, if Buzelis is out there, I think I feel better about it. But at least the Bulls won. Like, I don't know. I feel like even at this point, you should be hoping for an L. But yeah, good job, I guess. I don't know. Finally won, yeah. A lot of talk about splitting the locker room and the obvious losing streak after Vuce shooting them out. Feels like this team just doesn't want to play for or with him. Yeah, and it's funny because people were talking about how much Vucevic hated DeRozan and Levine, and now it seems like they all hate Vucevic or Vucevic hates them. So, yeah, Vucevic was like, these numbers of like 6 for 8 from the field, like that looks obviously a lot better compared to many games that previously, but he was not playing good today. Like this is like definitely one of those like box score does not show everything. He was bad today. Especially defensively. So I'm glad Donovan just sat him because he doesn't need to play. And Vucevic, of course, is like, he met with Donovan earlier in the week and was trying to figure out, oh, what can I do better for this team? Like, how can I be better for this team to make sure they're playing to their identity? And the first game after he says something to Donovan about that, he gets sat, which is great. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Alex comes in, suddenly the effort picks up. Vucevic's time on this team feels like it's officially over. I hope it is. Like, just get him off the team at this point, man. I don't need him here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Palm is part of the ball. So, no. It's palming. The hand is part of the ball when it comes to when someone's trying to keep the ball, right? So, if someone has two hands on the ball and you swipe down and you hit their fingers, right? That's part of the ball, okay? But when it comes to shooting, okay, it's been very adamant this season that you making the high five with the shooter this season has been called a foul all season long. And if you're wondering, like, I'll even just pull this up right here. Like, this has been a change for this season. Like, this has been talked about, and I can't tell if it's just that we misinterpreted what was being told to us, or the NBA just got it wrong tonight. But it's just like, I don't understand what exactly the high five rule is now, because I've been told that it's now a foul. Like, I've been told by many different things now, it's like, it's a foul. Like, this person right here that wrote for the Warriors, like, Steph Curry's been one of those people that's been absolutely getting screwed over when it's supposed to be a foul. And it's like, again, like, this high five rule change has been a thing. But all of a sudden now it's just like, it's not. Like, I don't understand. Now, again, previous to this season, it's been called not a foul. Like, the high five rule has never been called a foul until this season. And you can just see here, literally, we'll get high five, and now that's now going to be a foul. Courtney Kirkland on the review said that it was a high five, and I'm like, okay, that should be a foul. And they're like, no, it's legal contact. I'm like, what? Like, when did this happen? This has been a foul all season long. What happened? So I'm going to be very interested to see what that last 2-minute report says, because it's up to the official's discretion basically on those reviews. It's just like, okay, yeah, it's not a foul or whatever they said at Secaucus. But I'm just lost now, because I was told that this season it's going to be a foul. And now all of a sudden on this play, I'm like, oh, I mean, yeah, Collins definitely high-fived him. Like, that's a foul now. And, like, I don't know what Collins is doing. First and foremost, he shouldn't even be making contact with Knipple in the first place, okay? The fact that he did is a problem. And not to mention that Knipple landed on Collins' foot after the shot. So I thought that Collins fouled Knipple twice. I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, this is easily a foul. And I was honestly worried that it was going to get turned into a flagrant, because Collins landed on Knipple landed on Collins' foot. I was like, oh man, we got into the landing area of the shooter, and somehow neither are called. So we're just gonna say that the Bulls they committed mass murder, and we're gonna get the hell on out of here, because that to me should have been a foul tonight. I don't know what the hell happened, but it's just like, now I don't know. If you go ahead and if you doing the research now, it's just like, I don't really know, because now this right here says, oh, it's not even working. There might be so many people trying to load this exact page right now, but it's now it's been called a foul now this season. So I don't know. I'm very lost with what exactly is going to be happening now with the high five. Yet again, it seems like the NBA officials continue to just absolutely just be terrible, and there's no consistency. But as you see, Bleacher Report wrote an article October 20th about how the new high five rule is meant to protect the shooters, which means that if there's ever a high five, that means that it's a foul. So I just don't know. I'm honestly lost. But again, we'll just skedaddle on out of here and just take the win, I guess. Like, honestly, I kind of think it would have been good if the Bulls just lost this one, because the Bulls and Hornets would be separated by one game in terms of winning in the win column. But yeah. Yikes, man. This has changed. That's why teams are shooting more free throws than ever. True. Yeah, I don't know. I'm genuinely confused. I don't know what exactly this means now. So again, once that last 2-minute report comes out, I'm going to be heavily interested in seeing what's going to say, because I think Courtney Kirkland messed up tonight, on that review. So yeah, will be hilarious if Hornets appeal it. They would actually go back and replay that exact same possession and Hornets end up winning. Oh, I mean, I think if there's an appeal, right, that basically means that the Bulls and Hornets have to go back and Knipple gets to shoot those 3 free throws, and we'll see what happens after that, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. If Con got free throws, though, it would have likely been Bulls game due to a miss or just 10 seconds to getting a bucket. 65% chance the Bulls still win there. So here's the thing. I would agree with you. The problem is that Billy Donovan has gone for early shots in this exact situation. So I don't think the Bulls were going to 100% like in the favor of winning that game, even if Knipple made all three, because Donovan has showed that he still goes for the early shots. Like, even if you're supposed to just milk the clock down until the last second, he still goes for it early. And so if you go for it early and if you miss, or if you like make the shot or whatever, you're allowing time for the Hornets. So they didn't have any timeouts left. So I would hope that Donovan understands to not go early, but he's shown that he just would go early many times. Remember that Pacers game? He went early. Like, I don't understand why, but I don't have faith in Donovan to do the right thing. So I don't know if the Bulls would have a high chance of winning this game, even if Knipple made all three. I think I got why Booz got benched, so Trey could give the speedy guard defense that Giddey and Kobe can't offer. Well, I mean, that's the problem, though. Like, if that is the case, then that's a serious issue. If you're benching Booz Ellis because your backcourt can't guard the guards, that's a problem. That's insane. That's just insane. That, yet again, it's like, I hate this backcourt so much right now. Gladykoro is putting up some numbers. You think the Blazers would trade Thibault and both picks for a core on their 2026 pick back? Yeah, no, not happening. No whatsoever. It's just not gonna happen. Wants to make a move for Giannis. Good luck dreaming. Not gonna happen. Yeah, I don't know, honestly, man. This is a weird game. Getting got blown by way too much. I would feel much better if that one factor didn't happen alone. Giddey got absolutely wrecked on so many possessions defensively tonight. It wasn't just him, don't get me wrong. There were many possessions tonight that were against many guys defensively that were terrible by them, okay? But in that third quarter alone, Giddey was getting wrecked defensively. There were like, I swear to God, like 3 plays in a row where it was just like, they're just targeting him, and it didn't matter what he, like, it was just like, yep, let him go by, we're not gonna contest well. Like, Knipple comes off a pin down, Giddey's trailing very, very late, because he can't get past the screen good enough, and Knipple hits a 3. It's just like, I don't know what to do, man. Like, don't get me wrong, again, best offensive player tonight, did a hell of a job closing out this game, made some key buckets on the stretch. Incredible job by him to close out this game, and that's very, very good to see from Giddey in terms of his development, because that's not been a thing he's done all season. He's had struggles closing out games because he's not reliable in those moments. But to see him go out there and make like 2 key layups to end this game was huge. But defensively, though, man, and again, it's just everybody at this point. It's not just him, but it was just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with him. He's gonna have to show something better, man. Like, I'm just asking for effort, and this goes for the entire team, but I think more players gave effort than Giddey tonight defensively. That's just, like, it's just so frustrating just to see, man. I don't care if you're the best offensive player tonight. No one gets to take possessions off on this team defensively. You're not good enough to be taking possessions off defensively on this team. Not at all. We have to see better, unfortunately. We gotta go over the Kobe to the Wolves trade packages. We definitely will be in this stream. I mean, Kobe missing free throws is bound to happen. Still the best free throw shooter on the team. Is he still the best free throw shooter on the team, even with his percentages this season? I feel like his percentages have been pretty awful this year. But he might still be the best free throw shooter on the team. I thought it was Trey Jones, though. Kobe has not been that good in terms of his free throw shooting compared to usual. Yeah, I mean, it's not like Trey Jones is better. Dosunmu was better. Like, granted, less opportunities, but Trey Jones was out there and he shoots a good amount of free throws, and he's the better free throw shooter. So, yeah, Kobe has not been exactly the best. Like, he's under Booz Ellis, and Booz Ellis has missed some free throws this season. So, yeah, Kobe, like, I understand it's bound to happen, but him missing those free throws is just like, okay, like, or that one free throw, I guess I should say. We gotta be better at the end of the day, and I mean that just in general. Like, he's. I don't think he'll go under 80% now, but like it's not good to see him still kind of missing a couple here. Must not have noticed then the switches, as it just seemed like Kobe was on Khan for so many possessions. I think he got a decent amount on Khan as well, but it was mostly Booz Ellis in my opinion tonight that was on Knipple, and I didn't like it at all. Why so am I about the non-foul? It was reviewed for a lengthy time, declare not a foul, give it up. I mean, I'm just saying that I think the Bulls got away with murder. So sorry for me to kind of break down what I think actually happened. And I think that the officials messed up. So if you don't appreciate that, then you can leave. Honestly, RT Blues, I'm being dead serious. But I'm just giving you my analysis of what I think is a foul, and hey, I think that we just got away with it. So yeah, the officials reviewed it for a long time, and they said it's not a foul, so I guess that's how it's gonna be. But in my opinion, I think they absolutely messed up, and I'm showing you why. So sorry for taking a long time about it. I think it's a crucial possession though, so I do apologize for taking a lot of time talking about that specific thing. But at the end of the day though, I do think that that was important to talk about. So I tweeted about it a lot. I think a lot of people had reactions about it. I think the Hornets are pretty pissed. So, you know, I think it's worthy to actually give a lot of time to the stream to talk about it. At the end of the day, though, if you don't want to listen to it, you can leave. I'm sorry for taking up so much time about the big call where the Bulls could have ended up committing a very, very crucial foul. And it could have tied up the game here. So, sorry about that. I wonder why people only put that amount of energy into games and see. Oh man, yeah, I wonder why. Buzal's last 10 games, first half versus second half usage. Oh yeah, I've seen this because who is it that tweeted that out? Ross tweeted this out, and I'm like, yeah, this is just like, I don't understand exactly what's happening here when it comes to Buzal's and his usage, but he was fine tonight. Like, he didn't really commit turnovers tonight. He was driving hard to the basket just fine. And they still decided not to play him down the stretch. So I don't love the fact that this has been happening with him, but Billy's got to get his head on his shoulders. At least he got the whole Vucevic needs to be benched on his, like, he figured that part out finally. It's been a long time coming. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Box, though. Like, it's a serious issue that this has been happening, not just with him being benched, but his usage throughout the game goes down, which is very odd because, like, in that Warriors game, for example, like, his usage percentage in that Warriors game went up, but then his first half usage was like non-existent. So it's very troublesome to me when Buzal's is having a good game and you don't play him down the stretch of this one. Like, it's not like he was a detriment to the team, honestly. I'm aware that you need to figure out, like, how to actually guard the guards, and, you know, only one of Okoro is out there, so you can't just be like, all right, yeah, we're gonna be able to guard everybody out there on the perimeter with solely just Okoro. So I understand why Trey Jones is important, but I don't understand what exactly the whole idea is right now for the Bulls. So I think a Kobe trade is necessary right now, man. It's kind of necessary. One manager for the Timberwolves, any potential Kobe trade, but what do you think about Dillingham? Do you think he'd become as good as or better than Kobe? So don't get me wrong. I think with Dillingham, I am not the biggest fan of him. I don't like small guards, man. I really don't. However, when it comes to Kobe and his trade value, I think if you can get Dillingham, that's a win. Do I think he can become as good as Kobe? Maybe not as good, but I think he can become something similar in terms of his offensive ability. So, yeah, if you could get Dillingham or Berenger in that trade for Kobe to the Timberwolves, I think getting either one of those players is a win. Kobe's on the last year of his contract. The Timberwolves can't offer an extension that is worthy of his time. I think if you could get either one of those two guys that are on rookie deals, and Dillingham's 21, Berenger is 19, get either one, yeah, I think it's an absolute win. You'd have to take back probably Mike Conley's contract, which you'd probably just waive at the end of the day, but to make the money work, you'd have to probably take back Mike Conley and his $10 million. So I think it's definitely worth it. I'm just concerned, though, that the Bulls are going to trade Kobe White for DiVincenzo. And that's not going to help this Bulls team, unfortunately. But I'm expecting it, honestly. No way you get both of them, either one or the other, I know. Yes, so you're definitely right that you only... If the Timberwolves are even willing to give up either of those guys, you only get one, okay? And it's probably going to be the one they least value, which is probably going to be Dillingham. So if you can get Dillingham, though, I think it's a win. I think that's totally fine. However, like you said, though, don't think you're getting both. There's no way you're going to be able to get Berenger and Dillingham for Kobe White. You can't get both of them. I know the money would work, but the value is not going to work out for the Timberwolves. I'm also just I part of me wants to kind of see what exactly we can get for Kobe now. Like, I think that maybe trading him now isn't like the worst thing in the world, because it might be the best time to maximize his value now. But trading him at the deadline, it matters how you want to gauge the trade market. Like, if you think that in February Kobe's trade value is gonna be higher, then you should keep him, because you're gonna maybe see more teams in on him, and there's already a report that another Western Conference team is interested in him, apparently, which I don't know how legit that is, but it is from Casey Johnson, so I think you should trust it. But if it's only gonna be 2 teams that are gonna be interested in him, then I think trading him now is probably better, because then I think his trade value will decline heading towards the trade deadline. But I don't know. But I wouldn't be upset if we just traded Kobe now. I think that would be totally fine, honestly. But we will see. We will end up seeing what will happen here. The high five maybe was so minimal, it wasn't any risk of be damaging it. Like, I didn't meet the purpose of the rule. But then why did Courtney Kirkland say it was a high five, though? So I don't know. I think it's very confusing. So until we grace someone and didn't push them, right? But this was a high five. Like, I think those are 2 different things. I think that a high five is a pretty big thing, and it very clearly messed up Knippel's shot. And then also landing in his landing space, I also think is a foul. So, because you could argue that landing in someone's landing space does not affect the shot, but it's still a foul at the end of the day, right? Like, it's probably not going to affect the shot, but if you land in his landing space, like, that is a foul. So I think it's still a foul no matter what. But again, hey, Skiddy out of here. Get the hell out of here before things change. How do you feel about Giddey calling timeout with 0.2 remaining? A Hornets player must have been talking trash. I honestly didn't mind it. Like, things can get weird. So Giddey calling a timeout with 0.2 I think is fine. I think advance the ball, don't take any risks. I think that's totally fine with me, honestly. Yeah, I actually think that was pretty smart by Giddey, or if it was Donovan, whoever called it, I think that's a pretty smart idea, honestly. We should review that possession, the foul. We could. Said Russ took a long time reviewing the call, not you talking about it. Read the post. Oh, that's what you said? My bad, RT Blues. My bad. Yeah, my bad. But you also did say why so adamant about the non-foul. So my apologies for misreading this, but this sounded like it was towards me, RT Blues. So my apologies, because like this wasn't very clear of who you were talking about, because to me this still sounds like you're talking to me. And you said give it up. So oh no, my bad. I sincerely do apologize, but I still think your message initially is towards me, not towards the refs, but my bad. Any noticeable difference in Monta's production when he's at small forward versus power forward? It doesn't look any different to me. I think that at small forward, he still is standing in the corner when he shouldn't be. And so this whole talk about him, would get more possessions at the small forward versus him at the power forward, I still think he's still just standing in the corner and not involved in the actions. So I think that no matter what, it's about them getting him involved. Like, you got to run plays for him to actually get him involved. And to see him not be involved, whether he's at the small forward or the power forward, it didn't look any different to me tonight, is a problem. And I'm not happy to see that. He needs to, no matter what position he was at tonight, he just still drove to the basket and tried to finish, which is what we need to see, right? And he missed a couple that he probably should have made, but he also made a ton. He missed some free three-point shots tonight. That's okay. But no matter what, though, it seems like it was mostly just drive. Like, it wasn't anything different tonight. It was just, okay, yeah, he gets the ball in the perimeter and he drives to the basket. That's not good to see. Like, if he's supposed to, if the idea of him being at small forward is supposed to help him get more involved, he wasn't more involved tonight. That's the issue. It's like, we saw him at the small forward tonight, and I'm just like, okay, it looks exactly the same. It looks no different to me tonight. It's a serious problem. Overall, actually rate this is the worst Giddey defense maybe this season, as bad as Kobe, who I usually rate as worse slightly at min. As often Giddey isn't getting past the screen, but more blow-bys was especially bad. Oh, it for sure was terrible tonight by Giddey. Like, no one gets to be like, getting out of the blame for the defense tonight, because once again, this is not a win from your defense tonight. This is a win because your offense decided not to be the worst in the league tonight finally, and your offense finally showed up. But you basically still gave up 30 points every single quarter except for the first, but it was 30 points or more for the other 3 quarters. So your defense wasn't good tonight, but your offense scored 40 in that fourth quarter and 34 in that third, which is what helped them get this win. And don't get me wrong, again, I think Giddey was huge down the stretch of this game. I think Giddey, like in these last plays here, was absolutely massive for him down the stretch, where he's actually making some shots that I'm like, hey, like this is good. Like one-on-one opportunities, you're driving into the paint, you're looking to get your shot, and he made it. That's huge. But defensively, man, I just don't know what to do with him tonight. Like it just seemed like he was just getting beat no matter who he was guarding. And I'm like, yo, like, I need you to try, man. Like, I need you to figure this out and actually get put in some effort here and find ways to maybe just take away a driving lane from somebody, man. It just was not good from him tonight. And don't get me wrong, I think Kobe was also terrible tonight. There were moments where I'm like, Kobe gave up on the screen. Like, he just didn't try enough. But this whole backcourt issue to me is just like, the way that I'm looking at it is you're basically trying to hide Giddey, okay? Which then forces guys like Buzelis has to guard Knipple. And so you're playing Buzelis out of position defensively, right? Because you have to put Giddey on a forward. So you're taking away Buzelis' strength by putting him on a perimeter guy, having him chase around the guy in the perimeter all game. And then you're putting Giddey on a forward because Giddey can't guard the guards. And I'm like, okay, like, this just can't continue, right? It's gonna have to be that. So you're gonna have to keep Giddey and trade Kobe away so that you can go and get a guy that can actually guard guards, okay? Because the whole reason why that we're doing all this bullshit is because Kobe isn't the best defender either. So it's like, okay, well, both of your guys are terrible defenders, so we have to compensate for both. Therefore, Okoro's then being put on Brandon Miller tonight. And then we have to put him also on Miles Bridges later in the game, which is just like, oh my God, like, guys, like, come on. So again, you're gonna have to figure this out where he has to play better defense if you're gonna keep this backcourt, which I just cannot stand. Or you have to trade Kobe away and you actually go get a guy that can actually defend. Okay, that'd be probably the obvious solution right now. Or what I've been saying recently has just been like, get rid of both. Like, if this is going to be such an issue defensively with both of these guys, like, just get rid of both right now, because you're showing that you're basically at the bottom of the barrel with the rest of these teams right now. So just trade both away, like, so that you don't have any defensive liabilities anymore right now. But I need Giddey. Like, if he's going to continue to be on this team, man, he has to give me efforts. He has to. Like, he's the guy locked in with the contract right now, so I understand that he doesn't have much of an incentive to actually play some defense, but like, he has to give me the effort. He just has to. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He has to give me effort. And seeing him tonight, I was just like, oh my God, like, what are we supposed to do with him? Like, he has to find ways to guard a guy like Miles Bridges, who is not that dynamic of a scorer. Like, he's an all right scorer. Like, that's the thing. Like, he's an all right scorer. But the fact that, like, Bridges is just cooking him, and it's not just a 3-point shot. It's just like, there's a play, I want to pull it up here, where it just like, Bridges just like drove right to the rim. And it was off a pick and roll action. I'm just like, where's Giddey? Like, I think it was this play right here, where I'm like, bro, like, I need you to try. Like, give me effort here, okay? Like, watch. Like, this is just a simple pick and roll action, and Giddey's like trailing, and it's just like, all right, that's easy. Like, get through the screen. I understand Vooch is there, and Vooch is a problem too. Don't get me wrong. But the whole point that Vooch has to step up is because Giddey can't get through the screen enough. Like, okay, like, this is an issue. Okay? So it just comes down to effort at this point. Like, he is 6'8". Like, I understand this is the wingspan, but it just comes down to effort. And I'm like losing my mind tonight, because it's not just him. I have many plays to show you guys defensively tonight if we want to go over it, but I'm like, it's everything tonight when it comes to this team. It's everybody has to be better defensively. And still, yet again, I'm looking at this game and I'm like, wow, like, he just gave up 126 points to the Charlotte Hornets, who, I mean, let's see where they came in tonight in terms of, I mean, maybe this is updated now, but like, still, like, they're tied for 18th in terms of offensive rating. Like, they're not a good offensive team overall. You allow them to just absolutely light you up from 3-point range tonight. Like, doesn't make me feel too great, but you know, we'll get this win, I guess. But oh my god, like, not good. Obviously Charlotte is very clearly struggling, but if you lost this game, like, there is no reason to have any excuses. Like, no LaMelo Ball, no Colin Sexton, who absolutely wrecked us the last time we played these guys. Like, there's no excuses tonight. Like, you had to go and win this game. Like, you are the more healthy team. You have your core intact right now. You better go win. And oh boy, it was close, and we were down for a good portion of this game. But good job to close this one out and outscore this team, which is good to see. I'm worried that Kobe's trade value is sinking fairly fast this season with several factors to it. Yes, it's not just obviously his contract, but it's also his injuries. Yes, so that's why I would, if I was personally the Bulls, I'm looking to trade him right now. But I don't know. We'll see. You think it would be fun if the Bulls drinking game where you have to take a shot every time Stacey King sets a simple game whenever one of our bigs hits a low post shot? It would be a horrific drinking game, honestly, because I cannot stand Stacey King. Stacey King, by the way, said that, yeah, the Bulls offense isn't the problem. And I know that tonight makes it look like he was right, but the Bulls offense in the last 10 games had the worst offensive rating. So I don't want to hear that, oh yeah, I mean, the offense wasn't the problem. Like, no, the reason why the Bulls were so terrible was because their defense is garbage and their offense has also been garbage, okay? It's not like the Bulls offense has been totally fine in this horrible losing stretch here. The Bulls offense has been absolutely treacherously bad. And it finally was able to, you know, go ahead and actually score tonight thanks to, you know, the Hornets not having any sort of defensive ability. So that's why they were able to go out and get this win tonight, because they scored 80 points in the paint, which has been their strength all season long. But yeah, this has not been the theme. Like, this has not been like, oh, the Bulls have scored 129 points every single game, but we just happen to lose because our defense is so terrible. That's not the case. Like, our offense has been so bad. And, you know, guys coming back maybe helped, but it's just like, also, you're facing one of the worst defensive teams tonight. So if you lost this game tonight, oh boy, I was going to have some serious words with everybody. Herb Jones will be available till January. Yeah, but trading for Herb Jones is just not something I think should be in the cards, honestly. As much as I think that he would help, like, this team needs to just be bad. So we could reset. I think getting on a floor shouldn't mean Buzelis is still on the floor, but still, they can't have both guards so poor defensively. Most top teams have one of the guards as elite defender. But I mean, most teams don't have a detrimental defender, though. Like, I think that's the more key thing, is that most of these elite teams, unless you have like a heliocentric offensive guy, like, you don't really have like that bad of a defender out there. And like, even like I've always talked about, like, even Luka, I feel like this year has not even been that bad defensively. I think the rest of the Lakers offense has been bad, or rest of the Lakers roster has been bad defensively. But like, I mean, like, for example, like the Knicks, for example, is like, yeah, Jalen Brunson is their one bad defender, right? But everyone else is like pretty solid defensively except for Cat. Which that, you know, there's always been talks about that, honestly, but there's that. I mean, like, yeah, the Detroit Pistons, like, you could argue that no one's bad defensively out there in their starting lineup specifically. Like, there's no one that's like a massive detriment to the defense in that Pistons lineup right now, at least. And then obviously, I mean, out west, you could just look at OKC and others. Like, it's just very, very solid defensively. And again, like, even Jokic to me is like no longer a detriment to me, like, defensively. So it's on these guys to show me that you're not going to be just an absolute, just terrible defensive guy. That's the biggest thing. It's like, you can't be like one of the worst defenders in the league in games right now. And, you know, tonight, for example, I think that most of this roster showed, besides maybe a Okoro tonight, was like, yeah, you're pretty bad defensively. Like, even Buzelis tonight, I think, wasn't that good defensively. Like, he got blown by like Brandon Miller tonight a couple times. Like, that's not good. Like, I don't think that was even good from him either, but he got 2 blocks on Concanipple tonight, so at least he did that. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of good defense tonight from either teams, I guess. But it's gonna have to require, if Giddey's gonna be, like, you know, on this team, like, he's gonna have to show me better defense, man. It can't continue like at this rate. No, it's definitely the better matchup for Giddey to guard this game. Yeah, we eventually got there. It just took a bit. Rebounding was mildly better this game too, which I think helped a lot. Wow. Yeah. Isn't it interesting when you take out Vucevic, like your defensive rebounding actually becomes better? Huh. I wonder how many times we've been talking about this, that Vucevic is not really that good of a defender, and that me claiming that for some reason is such a terrible thing on Twitter, apparently to some Bulls fans. But you know, we've talked about this on stream a lot, that he's not that good of a rebounder overall. But taking him out, all of a sudden, wow, our defensive rebounding was actually pretty solid tonight, where Zach Collins gets 6, Jalen Smith gets 5, and less minutes than what Vucevic played tonight. Like, wow, what an impressive thing, right? Like, that's so impressive to see that you put these two centers in and your defensive rebounding somehow becomes better when Vucevic is not on the floor. What a crazy thing to look at. It's just, yeah, I'm sorry. It just, Vucevic has pissed me off so much recently that I'm so happy he was benched this game. Like, it was such a treat to see him not be in the game to end this one, which is great. Duncan Robinson for Detroit, but I don't think he starts. He doesn't start though. Like, he comes off the bench and he's allowed to. When Pistons are healthy, he comes off the bench, and he's allowed to kind of be that guy off the bench. But other than that though, like they're pretty fine defensively. Like their biggest weakness is arguably Cade, right? But like Isaiah Stewart is like one of the best rim protectors in the league. Jalen Duren's obviously fine defensively. They have All-Star Thompson. I mean, if he does start, but like Tobias Harris is like not a detriment out there. So yeah, they're fine, honestly. Rockets, Sorrel, you can say Shepard is a weak league defensively. You could. Yeah, I do think that that is definitely like a concern of mine with the Rockets, but yeah, we'll have to see how they do. I do think that is definitely a little bit of a concern for me when it comes to their contending level status. But as long as, if he's gonna go out there and give you like 25 a game, then it'll help kind of make up for it a little bit. It's definitely though very much a concern of mine. I do think that the Rockets have to kind of consider what to do about that. Yeah, either way though, like we talked about, this backcourt cannot coexist. It's not necessarily that offensively they're like bad. It's like their offense has not been good overall, and I understand that Kobe's had his calf issues and like he's not exactly fully 100%. Like he's still in the injury report heading into tonight's game because of right calf tightness. So that means now we went with Kobe. It went from his right calf keeping him out to start the season to then he missed games with his left calf after he came back, and now his right calf is now giving him issues again tonight. So I honestly don't know what to do with Kobe at this point with his injuries. But it's these two defensively right now is a problem. What's up? Oh, thank you. Yeah, but it's those two defensively together. It's not gonna work. And so if Giddey's gonna be a forward, right, on the defensive end, where he's gonna have to guard a guy that doesn't have the ball in his hands that much and is gonna be chasing Knipple around pin downs, then I'm like, okay, then your small forward that you're gonna have to get is gonna have to be able to guard guards, right? And your backcourt mate for Giddey, in a sense, is gonna have to be able to be a really solid defender. So just like, I don't love the idea of building around Giddey. I think it's a very, very, very concerning thing to do, but that's what it's gonna have to be, I guess. So until things change, obviously, until this Bulls team is gonna maybe build around somebody else, like that's what we're going to look for. And having Kobe here alongside Giddey, if Giddey's gonna be the man, then it's just not gonna work. So, yeah, we're gonna have to figure this out. I don't love it, and the Bulls have the Pelicans next year, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that game's gonna go, because remember that game where we also got wrecked against the Pelicans in New Orleans. Pelicans gonna be at Chicago, I believe, but like, I mean, they're no joke. Like Trey Murphy's a legit scorer, so if Giddey's not gonna be guarding Jeremiah Fears out there, and also not guarding guys like Jose Alvarado, then like who is going to put him on, right? He's gonna have to go on somebody out there, and it's not gonna be Zion, it's not gonna be Trey Murphy, so he's gonna have to find someone to go out and guard, and you also then have to figure out who Kobe's gonna guard, right? And I don't love it, so we're gonna have to figure this out. It's putting me in a very bad spot, overall. On the Rockets, I would prefer Reed. I mean, I think for now. If they can get an upgrade, though, I think that they should be looking for it. His defense may be an issue, but he is low down on the Bulls' issues list. As a player as a whole, yes. But to me, his defense is as high as everybody else's defense in terms of problems defensively. He is, especially recently, he's been awful defensively recently, especially recently. So, like, in terms of trying to fix the defense, he is at the highest priority right now. Like, along with everybody else that's been terrible defensively. In terms of, as a player, though, he's been the best Bulls player this season. He's not at the highest in terms of, like, problems of the Bulls problem list as a whole. But defensively, he is just as high as everybody else to me. Like, we have another amazing game. We're not going to hear the end of it on Twitter if Asenge was a mistake stuff. Yeah, so don't get me wrong. Like, I know that a lot of people, like, in this chat are very much like, oh my God, like, Duncan, you messed up on the Queen taking everything. Look, we're gonna have to wait and see, obviously, with Asenge, because reminder, he's just soon gonna turn 19 here, or unless he just turned 19. And so Queen's a little bit older, and so we're gonna have to wait and see when exactly, like when Asenge turns Queen's age that he is now, like how it's gonna look. But I am still adamant that was the better pick. As much as Queen has impressed me, and I think that last game against the Spurs was the one that probably impressed me the most because he had 4 blocks in that game. But I'm still on the Asenge was the better pick. It's probably me being just absolutely like, holding on to my ego about it, and like I'm being absolutely just stupid about it, and I get it. Like I understand. But my biggest fear still when it comes to big men is if you can't really show me like consistently good defense, then I really am very fearful for you moving forward. I have a lot of fear of like what exactly your upside is, unless obviously Queen becomes Jokic, right? And there is that like potential. I understand that there is that potential, but I am very much just like, oh man, I think becoming Jokic is like one of the hardest things to do in this league, and for obvious reasons. So, and even Jokic to me is no longer a detriment defensively. Queen has had many moments in his rookie season, which granted the Pelicans suck defensively, but like he just has shown me just bad defense. So I'm like, okay, well, if you're gonna continue to play center, and he doesn't have the 3-point shot right now, so I don't know how he's gonna play power forward, but as long as he's gonna continue showing me this bad defense, I feel like I'm still in the right overall decision here. But I will admit though when I am wrong, and so if Asenge obviously turns into nothing here, and you're gonna be seeing Queen go out and actually does become an all-star, right? Then I am very much gonna be raising my hand and saying that I was wrong. Just as I said, when the Vucevic trade happened, I thought that was a good decision. I was wrong about that decision as well. And also I was wrong about Giddey becoming a good player overall, and he's absolutely gone out and done that, right? So when I will absolutely admit when I am wrong, but for now, like it's way too early. Like I know a lot of Bulls fans are like looking at it and just they can't stand it watching Queen go out and perform well. But let me remind all of you right now that if Derek Queen was playing for the Chicago Bulls, his head coach would be Billy Donovan. And we have a guy named Nikola Vucevic on the roster, let alone also we have 2 other centers also on the roster if Derek Queen was signed to us or we drafted him. So I honestly don't know how Queen was going to get minutes on this team anyway. And I don't know how much better I would even feel about this team overall for the future if Queen was still on this roster. Like I honestly don't know how good I'd feel, but you get into all these hypotheticals when you start to kind of think like, oh, like man, if only the Bulls just drafted him. I'm just like, okay, let's just wait, man. Asenge's injured. Like we gotta wait, man. Like it's gonna have to we have to wait for this right now, before we start actually making these big like overall, decisions of like, oh yeah, the Bulls messed up on this. Don't get me wrong. I am more than willing to just go out and say whenever I think that AK has absolutely messed up as a general manager. And yes, the Patrick Williams pick has been absolutely a big overall mistake, even though he played well tonight. But it's still, to me, I'm not budging right now. So I'm sorry for being stubborn, but I'm not going to budge yet until we actually get to see Asenge actually get some NBA minutes and not only play less than 7 minutes of actual time. So that's just my opinion at the end of the day. we will have to talk about this at a later point down the road. So yes, it's gonna suck seeing Queen go out and perform well. I understand, but we'll talk about this later down the road. But Queen, remember when we first faced the Pelicans, Queen did not have that good of a game against us. So we'll see what happens this time. A second is a swing that is and was reasonable to take for that pick. I have others I prefer over later in the draft, but I mean, right. Like, I understand that, though. Like, if you wanted Carter Bryant, which he's not really getting many minutes right now with the Spurs anyway, then I also understand that pick as well. Like, I would definitely have picked Carter Bryant or Thomas Sorber over Queen, in my opinion. And they all went after what the Bulls picked. But, yeah, I get it. I get it at the end of the day. We're not taking Queen. I think it has more upside. I also agree with that. I think Asenge also has more upside. And it also might not necessarily be the box score when it comes to Asenge, but he'll at least, I know, not be a detriment defensively, which is a very good thing. So, Liver would have been similar, though. Yeah, I can understand, maybe. The Queen passes have impressed me, too. He has definitely impressed me. I did not think Queen is going to come in and play this well. But at the same time, I am also aware where the Pelicans are right now. He is absolutely taking advantage of his current situation, as he should be. I guess that might be Jokic now, just as might be Giannis before players. And let me be clear, I don't think Asenge is going to become Giannis. I don't think that. When I wanted the Bulls to draft Asenge, I was not thinking Giannis. I was thinking more Siakam. But like, I understand everyone's like, oh, but like, you know, you're trying to turn him into the next Giannis, and you haven't been able to develop guys. I get it, but I'm like, that's not who I'm looking at. I'm looking at someone different. So yeah, it looks good too. Saw him bring up the 94 feet and beat full court pressure. Yeah, that clip was very impressive to me, for sure. I definitely saw that. But to me, though, it was more so that Spurs game where he got 4 blocks, and when it was timing it right and wasn't picking up fouls, I was like, wow, like, okay, he actually has some sort of, like, you know, level of rim protection that is based off his instincts. It's definitely not based off his verticality or, you know, in general, like, awareness, but he can at moments defend the rim a little bit. It just doesn't seem that consistent yet. And yes, he'll get better. But with him not being that big, I have my questions. So, yeah, Young might be Jokic, while we have the Charmander and the chameleon of Jokic apparently already a few seasons ago, and Alpi and Sabonis. Yes, I know he isn't that really. You're right. Yeah, Sabonis is definitely like, yeah, he's definitely worse than Şengün, and so yeah, he's definitely not much Sabonis. Or sorry, he's not very much. Like, he's kind, like, he's. Şengün is obviously poor man's Jokic. Sabonis is like worse Jokic, I guess. And as we've seen, it's not that effective. So yeah. And let's have others getting back at titles of Jokic so on hot. Yeah, and somehow Vucevic was in that category, so I don't understand that. Yeah. Over 2, yeah. Ace Newell is actually the one I liked in similar way. Yeah, I mean, if you guys go ahead and go back to my draft videos, it was, to me, it was Asenge was 1, Newell was 2. Like, it was those 2 guys for me, and somehow Newell fell to 23 or whatever it was, and the Hawks got that. It was run that Pelicans trade, which is still just like, I still don't understand why the Pelicans did that, but hey, you got Queen, I guess. Like, I guess that's the big thing. But yeah, Newell was the other guy that I really wanted for the Bulls. But I also was just like, yeah, if you get me Carter Bryant, that's also fine. If you get me Thomas Sorber, that's also fine. I'm cool with any of these guys. But Asenge was my number 1. So I'm not budging. I'm not going to budge until I see Asenge actually get some playing time. And, you know, he's going to come back, and I think he'll be, I mean, it's going to definitely be a little bit of a struggle when he comes back. He's not going to be playing basketball for a while here, but I have faith. Like, I have a lot more faith in him, at least in my opinion. So, the Asenge Giannis comps were lazy on my part. The more I look at film, the more he looks like a more athletic Siakam to me. So, let me be clear about how I look at Asenge, right? Like, so a lot of people think Buzelis can be the Siakam. I've always looked at Buzelis as more of like, he should be sort of like Franz Wagner, but like, he should be a little bit more dynamic in a sense. So like, he could be a little bit more off ball and have the effectiveness. He could be a better shooter. And you know, he'll be getting a little bit more off-ball opportunities, like cuts and stuff, compared to maybe Wagner. But he should still be, though, very much involved in the on-ball actions, like how Wagner is. I don't think he'll be able to maybe run the pick and roll as effective as Wagner is, but in terms of ISO ability, I think that Buzelis should be one of the better guys and should have that driving ability that Wagner also has. So it's like differences, obviously, in their games, but I looked at him as a little bit more on ball. Now, when I talk about Pascal Siakam, okay, I know a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? Like Siakam is more on ball, etc. And yes, especially for this season, I think Pascal Siakam is absolutely more on ball. And, you know, he's having a hell of a season again. But with no Tyrese Halliburton, he's the guy. And so if you go ahead and look at how his stats are this season, for example, and you look at his shooting, it's just like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of shots where he has to kind of be the guy to go and create the shots. As you can see here, his unassisted numbers are like pretty overall. Like, yeah, he's made more unassisted shots than assisted. Okay, but the way that if you watch Siakam and how he's used within the Pacers offense, a lot of it, especially when Halliburton is there, he's not necessarily like dribbling it constantly. Like, he's not like on ball that often. Like, he's more off ball. But they kind of move him around a lot, and they create advantages for him to take advantage in the post. They have him set screens and roll hard. But what makes him so dynamic as a roller is because he can handle it pretty effectively, right? But you look at how this season was for him last season, you see that most of his shots were assisted, okay? And that tells me, like, okay, yeah, he's a very efficient player and can obviously be a guy with the ball in his hands. But what I was looking at for Asenge, like how I looked at him, is like Asenge is definitely gonna have to probably be a little bit more off ball with his, at least for like earlier on, especially. But if he never does end up having the best dribbling ability, and it's gonna be pretty limited for him, then I understand that he's gonna have to be more off ball. But you can still use him in a way like how they use Siakam, where you have him set screens and rolls hard, or you have him come off a pin down and for a handoff action and let him get a hard line drive to the basket, right? Like, that's how they use Siakam effectively. And not to mention then Siakam gets to the free throw line, and I also think that Asenge is going to be coming in and be a good free throw guy. Like, he's going to get to the line. He draws fouls. So that's the way I looked at Asenge, is like he can become Siakam with how the Pacers have used Siakam, like how they used him last season. Now, I understand, though, that it still would require Asenge to get more on-ball ability, but the way that I was looking at how he was kind of playing the G League game, like, it was like he was scoring like a lot of points, just him moving. Like, it was him getting offensive rebounds. It was him in transition. It was him shooting 3-point shots. Like, he was already kind of getting a lot of points that way. And I'm like, that's not really him with the ball. That's just him just kind of moving and hustling and kind of figuring out where to be on the court. And then there's like a couple of plays here and there where he's coming off some zoom action for a handoff, and it's like driving hard to the basket and he's putting up and in. And I'm like, oh, hey, like, that's Siakam-esque. Now what Siakam's going to have over him is the post-up ability, the ISO ability that, taking advantage of mismatches. That's where Asenge is going to have to grow. But I think that this is very doable for Asenge. And, Siakam's 6'8", so, like, Asenge is a little bit taller, but, and obviously Siakam is much, much bigger. But you look at what Siakam was in his first season, okay? I think people kind of forget what Siakam was in his first season ever. Like, wasn't much. Like, he shot overall well, but I mean, he averaged 4 points per game. He only got 15 minutes a game. Like, it very much is like, to me, looks like the idea of what Asenge is probably gonna have to start out as, maybe a little bit in his career, where he might come off the bench and not get that many minutes. But you saw that Siakam was able to take leaps. And then obviously the year that they won the championship, he was a massive contributor this season. Okay. But yeah, don't get me wrong, there's a long ways to go for Asenge, but he's one of the youngest players, and I think it's an absolute risk that you should be taking, and I think it's going to be very valuable if he can become that. Yeah. Or for us to not see that boost comp. Boost is so speedy and good at cutting. So there's obviously that, but I meant like in terms of his on-ball ability, right? That to me is what I'm looking for with how, like, Franz is able to run like some pick and rolls, but also drive effectively. But I do think, though, that Buzelis has shown me that he's going to be better in terms of his ability to move off ball than Franz Wagner was. Because that was my biggest question when it came to, like, Buzelis, was just like, I don't know what exactly he's going to really excel at, but that's why I said Franz. It was like, I look at him, it's just kind of like Franz Wagner. It's just like, yeah, he has some on-ball ability. It's not exactly the best. The shooting is still kind of like, we don't know, which is still the case for Franz Wagner. And like his overall on-ball ability, like his driving ability is still kind of so-so. But you know, Franz was able to like show moments of leaps, but it's also been inconsistent from him. But Buzelis then in his rookie year showed me like, oh, like he moves way better than I thought, can defend better than I thought. And even as a guy that said that I think he's gonna be a good shot blocker, I didn't expect him to be this good his rookie year. So he showed me a lot his rookie year to kind of change, kind of was like, oh, like this is definitely not the comp, maybe that's maybe the best for him. But I still see parts of his game as like, yeah, it should be Franz in a sense. But we will have to see though. Those are obviously a point of a difference. No, I agree with that. But again, in terms of driving ability, I think that they're kind of similar right now still. But Buzelis should have an advantage moving forward. Steve Franz is maybe closer to halfway between Giddy and Booz. Nah, I disagree personally. I think Franz has shown me the ability to really effectively like shoot off like when he's right, like when he actually does it, like he can hit pull-up shots and stuff. So like I don't know if I would exactly say that, but I don't know, it's tough at the end of the day. Also on Franz, I am one of the maybe odd people who have felt Franz is better for the Magic than Powell, especially in the long run. I have also mentioned it to my friend David, who's a big Magic fan. It's either Banchero's got to really change his game to not shoot so many stupid mid-range shots or long twos, or they're gonna have to make a decision between the two of them. And I do think that at least for now, Franz has shown me more, at least. So right now, also, but even last season, I keep thinking Dayron, Sharp, and Trent Wofford were good bench players, the wasted and available. Oh, I mean, I think you and I were definitely on those trains. Like, I was very adamant that I think Watford was a very solid player, and Dayron Sharp has obviously shown his abilities. So yeah, it might end up being Boo's backup with a similar direction, possibly for him to Boo's. So my only thing though is that I don't think Asenge has the dribbling ability that Buzelis has right now. And I also think Asenge is to be better on the perimeter compared to where Buzelis is better in terms of blocking shots at the rim. So I think their games are different. Like I think that Buzelis can handle more on-ball ability now compared to Asenge, and that's why Asenge's going to be more off-ball. I think in the long run, I want obviously Asenge's game to still hopefully turn into Siakam, where he's moving off ball and still scoring a lot of points. But I understand that's going to be tough. Like he's going to still have to develop on ball ability. However, though, I do think that both of them are going to have to find ways to get better in certain areas. Like I think that with obviously Buzelis, he's, you know, even with his better on ball ability, he's going to have to find a way to clean up his turnovers. But he's got to find the 3-point shot again. His 3-point shot has not been the best recently. He started out pretty good this season, but it's been kind of dipping recently. But he's got to shoot it, which he's still shooting it, which is good. Asenge obviously needs to find a 3-point shot. That's going to have to be like a big key factor if he can even play off ball. But I do think he's going to have to rely a lot more on his cutting ability and his screening setting ability, which very clearly Buzelis doesn't do that right now. So that's where they're going to have to probably differ, honestly. I just don't want Asenge, though, to become Buzelis' backup. I think honestly what you're gonna have to look at is that both of these guys are gonna have to be part of your starting forward positions of the future. I understand there's gonna be some concern about like can he keep up, but Asenge to me is gonna be able to keep up with the perimeter guys. He has the better ability to defend on the perimeter compared to Buzelis, including even the smaller guys. Like he's shown me the ability to guard guys one-on-one more effectively than maybe Buzelis has, but it's G League, so I don't know how much you want to put into it. But I do think, though, that they're going to have to be part of the future starting forward positions. Unless Asenge becomes the center, which I don't want him to become that, but I very much despise that idea. But I guess there's maybe a chance. Like, there could be the chance if he adds a lot of weight and he is still moving well enough with it, and he maybe even grows a little bit taller here, like, yeah, he could become the center. I would hate it. I don't think that's exactly what I would be looking to do with him, but there is that possibility. But I hope that's not what it's going to be. No, it feels more similar to Booz, Asa, Zach Risache. Interesting. I think Buzelis and Risache are more similar together compared to maybe what Asa Newell and Asenge are. like, to me, Asenge is probably more right now on the path towards becoming like what local Bulls fan told me is like OG Anunoby. And I understand that, like, you know, an Anunoby is a lot smaller, but like, or smaller, but he's not that much smaller, but he's smaller. But like, that's kind of where I'm looking at right now. Compared to Buzelis, for example, is like, I don't think Buzelis is going to become OG Anunoby-esque. Like, I think he's going to become more on ball, more involved with the ball in his hands, compared to Anunoby, who needs obviously someone to set him up consistently. Like, I think Asenge might have to just become OG Anunoby if he can't get his handle down, which is kind of the big question right now. And I'm hoping, like, I have faith that Asenge is going to figure out his handling ability so it's not as slippery as it is right now, but I just don't know how much he's going to improve in that category, where I think with Buzelis, like, he's already in a spot right now where he can be more on ball and kind of, in a sense, kind of look a little bit more towards like being Tatum. Not saying that it's like fully Jason Tatum, where Tatum takes a lot of pull-up threes. I'm just saying that he can drive as a bigger forward, like how Tatum can drive with his on-ball ability, if he can find a way to master it, like with how Tatum was able to do so. Versus Asenge, which I have less faith in Asenge getting to that point right now, at least. Also need to develop a game that is less reliant on bully ball / athletic. I agree. Yes. The mid-range shot is not good enough from Banchero. He's going to have to either become like very efficient in the interior, or he's going to have to develop his three-point shot better, and consistently get to the foul line at a better rate, which he already does get to the foul line a decent amount, but it's just like, he also then needs to be a better free throw shooter from there, if that's going to work. The difference is there. My hope is Noah to defend well at some point and floor in the core of switchable defense. Right, that's the biggest thing, but I think Noah is going to be able to guard, like, perimeter guys. I really do. Like, he guarded Victor Oladipo in the G League, which, again, I know Oladipo's, like, cooked, but, like, Oladipo is still faster than a lot of guys still, and I thought Asenge was doing a good job on him on one-on-one opportunities. Like, I think he did a good job, so, I don't know. Like, and this is where I get into too much, maybe the data, but, yeah, I'm not saying that Asenge is this guy, okay? I'm not saying this or that, okay? But, like, people think, for example, like, Cooper Flagg's going to be able to, like, consistently be able to guard guys, like, on a perimeter right now, right? Like, I mean, like, he may be a 4, but, like, he can guard guys effectively, okay? But, like, when I look at this, for example, like, here's Asenge here, okay? Like, he is basically in terms of lane agility time, which I understand is not the same as, like, the shuttle run. I get it, okay? Like, I understand, but, like, I'm just pointing out in terms of, like, his ability to move as big as he is, okay? And he has the wingspan to make up for maybe some lack of movement. But, like, his lane agility time is, like, it's close to Cooper Flagg. It's better than Drake Powell, who's one of the more athletic guys in this draft, okay? His three-quarter sprint was better than Cooper Flagg's. Like, this is what I'm looking at. Now, what I will say, though, is this. Like, if you compare those numbers to Buzelis, like, he was better here, and Buzelis was slightly better here. Like, it was, like, 0.01 better here, okay? But I understand, though, like, okay, you're maybe thinking, oh, he might just be Buzelis again. But I do think, though, with Asenge, like, he's a little bit more oriented for the perimeter with how his build is, and how he uses his wingspan, compared to Buzelis is definitely a little bit more geared towards his shot blocking ability. But, again, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Again, we need playing time from these guys, but I have more faith, though, that Asenge could be on the perimeter. If he isn't able to, though, then the Bulls are gonna have to decide what to do, because right now it looks like Buzelis is the better potential, maybe. But again, this guy's 18, so we're gonna have to wait and see. But if, let's say, Asenge can't guard on the perimeter, then I don't really know what the Bulls are gonna be looking for. You're gonna have to obviously choose between who's the better of the two. But I don't know what exactly the plan would be after that. That's going to be kind of my biggest concern moving forward. I know just learns to cut off ball, etc. and defend. He needs to hit the three-point shot, but if he can do that plus hit the three-point shot, yeah, I think we'd be good. Loses faster than Claxton, gets the 1 through 5 notes. Claxton, though, is, I think at this point, is not like I think he's lost a little bit in terms of like his overall agility ability, but maybe he's still faster. That'd be kind of interesting. OG's a good future comp for Noah. It is definitely a good comp, but it's just bigger OG, basically. Yeah, like I don't really expect Sengun to become Mikal Bridges. If you're wondering, like there's definitely a difference in that. But I do think maybe OG is very doable for him. What's up, Buzelis? That regarding Risache, Boo said he's not trying to see him at all. I think Buzelis is better than Risache. Like, let me be clear. But the way that I kind of see their games is just like Buzelis is better, but Risache and him they try to have the ball in their hands a little bit more, and try to create off the dribble as forwards compared to some other forwards who are obviously a lot more off ball, and try to be like cutting and like try to move around the offense, set screens. Like there's a big difference, I think. It seems like Orlando plays better with 3 guards, was one of only Franz and Banchero plus a center. Jalen Suggs being back is huge, obviously, but I do agree right now for what I've seen is that because like of course Banchero just got back and Franz Wagner just got injured. So there's that. But yeah, I do think though that they're better with just one of them on the floor right now. Plus Suggs, that's the big thing. Okay, you can't forget Suggs. Suggs is humongous for them. So it's one of those guys plus Suggs, and then Desmond Bane out there. They look better, but I just don't know. Like I also do think though, like they're kind of limited if that is kind of how it's gonna have to be. Like that means that whichever one they choose, that guy has to become a star, like an absolute superstar. Which you can argue that they're there maybe, but I want more from them. But they're gonna have to. Like I think honestly the Magic just have to figure it out between those two, or they're gonna have to trade one of those two for good value in return. So yeah. Yeah. Slow draft for nobody to hit the 10.4 flat agility. It is definitely on the slower end, sure. But if people are gonna say that Drake Powell is gonna be able to guard guards, then I'm just like, well, what am I looking at here? Like, is it really that slow? Like, I don't know. I think it's. I mean, Jeremiah Fears is looked at as like one of the fastest guards with the ball in his hands, and yet his lane agility time was slower than Asenge's. Like, I don't know. Honestly, it's just very interesting to me. Is Zach's actually better? Controversial, maybe on me. Really, I think Buzelis is better than Risache. I do see them very similar, as in most similar to one another. Yes, I do think they're similar. Who's maybe a better upside though? Parlay feels slightly springier. I think it's the defensive end is what makes me is the difference to me. Like Buzelis' ability to block shots is like the biggest difference to me. I mean, I won't lie, I haven't really fully looked at Risache's numbers this season, but I also am aware that like the offense is very much not around him right now. But like I look at Buzelis as having much more, like I think he's better now, and I think he's gonna have better overall potential moving forward. But yeah, I mean, Buzelis is right. I understand there's limited minutes right now, but like they're both starting. Buzelis is better rebounding, but again, smaller minutes. Buzelis is, I think, more efficient from the field overall. Better 3-point shooter, even with Buzelis' lack of threes recently. And Buzelis is a better shot blocker. He's not the better stealer though, so Risache has that on him right now. So I don't know. It is probably closer than maybe I think it is, but I think Buzelis right now is the better player. And I think he's gonna have better potential moving forward. We will see. If Billy would just play him in the freaking fourth quarter, then I think these numbers would be better. But I mean, yeah, I think this is pretty key. By the way, like I think Buzelis, getting 1.4 blocks per game is pretty huge. Even though he's not even getting like 30 minutes a game, like this is pretty solid to see. Again, he's shooting better than what Risache is shooting right now. He's better 3-point shots currently. He's averaging just overall more points. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. But I am very much aware though with Risache that he might not be getting the same opportunity as Buzelis is maybe right now, when Buzelis is allowed the opportunities, because again, Buzelis didn't end this game tonight for some stupid reason. I don't know why. Buzelis should have been in to end this game. Like if the Bulls won this game and Buzelis is just in the game, I feel a lot better about this game tonight. It's the fact that he didn't end this game. I'm kind of just grinding my gears about it. But hey, I mean, Billy Donovan at least bench Vucevic, so there's that. Darius, you still here? Noel, how did the Bulls do today? Defensively, they were still atrocious on many aspects. Like, couldn't guard any three-point shots. They were terrible in terms of transition defense. I think, honestly, we kind of got away with one moment where Sion James absolutely threw a pass that he airmailed a pass where, like, it was going to be 2 points for the Hornets, but they just airmailed it. And we still couldn't stop the paint tonight. Like, we still were not good against the paint tonight. We were just better in terms of our offensive ability to get to the paint. So, offensively, we finally showed up, and we're not the dead last offense in the last 10 games that we've been recently showing. That's a good sign. I'm happy to see that again, because, like, if this Bulls team doesn't have anything, like, on either end, it really makes me feel awful about this team moving forward. But what I didn't, I'm very much aware that this Bulls team can be a better scoring team than what we were seeing recently. But I was starting to kind of think, though, that maybe I was even wrong about this Bulls offense, where they were just much worse than I thought they were going to be. Like, this, again, until tonight, like, this Bulls offense has been the worst rated offense in the last 10 games. So I was starting to get really concerned. But to finally see them actually show up here was like, hey, okay, we're finally showing some offensive ability. But the Bulls came into tonight, they were 15th in terms of points per game. That has gone up to now, we're now 13th. So even this number was kind of getting, it was kind of catching up to us. But finally, it's starting to look better. So even with tonight, I guess, maybe this is not counting tonight, but still the Bulls offense is still the worst rated offense in the last 10 games right now. I'm not sure if this counts tonight or not, but either way, this is just disgusting just to see. Our defense was actually, like, it wasn't the worst rated defense, but it was still terrible. So, good to see the offense. Giddey was very good offensively tonight. That was a good sign. He helped close out the game. It was good to see Isaac Okoro have a good game offensively. Good to see Patrick Williams have a good game offensively. Zach Collins had a great game offensively. That was good to see. The defense is just so shit. I can't stand this defense. And beating this Hornets team is like, I mean, you beat a team that you should be beating, but it's just like, it just doesn't, I'm not impressed, honestly. I'm just like, all right, you beat a team finally should have beaten. Honestly, you were down by double digits for a good portion of this game, though, so I don't know if you even should have beaten this team. But, yeah. Yeah, so there's definitely some good things just to see, though. Like, I think Buzelis was playing fine, and, in his minutes that he did play, I think he was totally fine. I don't know why Billy didn't end with him, but it was good to see him attacking the basket effectively and not really turning it over, so that was good to see. Small hopes, yeah. Won't be happy until that some trades occur. I agree. Darius, I want you still here because I want to talk about the Kobe White trade, by the way. Though I'm off for some Arc Raiders. Thanks for the stream. Hey, have some fun with the Arc Raiders, man. I unfortunately am not into that game. I can't get into it, but have some fun with it. It's much better than talk about the Bulls, probably. Kobe Booch gotta go. I agree. I'm sorry to all the Kobe White fans, but it's time. He still got 20 tonight, but it's just time. We need to talk about this. A couple things. So, like I said, I wanted Darius to stick around because I want to talk about this Kobe White trade possibility here. But also a couple things I want to shout out. So, first and foremost, if you have not been on OnTap Sportsnet recently, I did just drop an article that has gotten some good praise, and I don't know, maybe Patrick Williams even saw my article tonight and kind of put it into the back of his mind. But basically, I talked about Patrick Williams needing to change his shot diet. And it pretty much is just to kind of, in general, it was like a combination of just saying, like, Patrick Williams needs to just shoot threes only. His 2-point percentage is atrocious. And his shot diet right now is almost 50-50 split between the two. Like, he shoots right now still more threes, but it's like 53-46 split. So, and there's like point something percentages in that. But if you have not checked this out, please go ahead and check this out. Link is now in chat. But Patrick Williams tonight, he scored 3 shots from 2-point range. He was 3 for 3 on 2-point shots tonight. So that was crazy to see. Was never expecting to see that ever. But we got to see that. So that was cool, I guess. I doubt it's going to continue, but we will have to see, though, if it ends up continuing here. Also, if you are people that listen to the Bulls on Top podcast, and if you want to listen via Spotify, Apple Play, or whatever, here's the link to the RSS feed. If you want to listen to our most recent episode, it was my first episode with Trey Ruff, who is one of the hosts for Bulls on Tap, and obviously local Bulls fan Alejandro Delgado was there. So it was the three of us, and we had a good time. So go ahead and listen to that. If you like the YouTube option, though, instead, and like to listen to podcasts via that way and like to see our faces, the most recent episode has been posted on YouTube. So if you want to go ahead and check this out, link is going to be posted in chat right now. So here is this for you. For all my recent OnTap Sportsnet content, that is all posted in chat now. So I would sincerely do appreciate it if you can go and check this stuff out. I know I posted the article on my community tab. I will be posting the podcast on my community tab after the stream. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with this stuff. So please go ahead and check this out if you have not done so already. The stuff that we talk about in the episodes very much relate to what's going on still, even after tonight's game. So please check this out if you have not done so. Let's talk about some trades though. I'm still here. Do you think it's because Khan was torching Montas, but he was torching everybody? I think it was a combination of that, but it was what Charles said earlier, which was that he wanted Trey Jones in to guard one of the guards out there that Giddey and Kobe couldn't guard, right? Because Giddey and Kobe can't guard Knipple, and I'm going to show you like a prime example of this. Like, I mean, there was the play here that I was like, basically Giddey got switched on a Knipple, and I lost my mind. And I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, like Giddey can't guard this guy, unfortunately. It's just a reality. But like, it pretty much was to take out Buzelis, who, like, don't get me wrong, he was trying his best on Knipple tonight, but he wanted someone like Trey Jones or Isaac Okoro on Knipple instead. And so, I mean, watch this play, for example. Like, Giddey has to switch on a Knipple here, and then Giddey is late. He's already late. There's not even a screen here, and Giddey's late, okay? It's just a simple little pin down from Kalkbrenner here, and Giddey's already late on this play. And it's just too much airspace for Knipple. And so, like, you can't have Josh Giddey running around and guarding, like, this guy. And so he didn't want to maybe risk it with Buzelis, and so he decided to trust the vet and Trey Jones instead. I think that's why Buzelis didn't end this game, which is really stupid, because I think that you can still end this game with Buzelis and figure out a way to guard Knipple just fine. And just live with the results. Again, I don't think the results of these games matter right now. You getting the win to me is not what matters. What matters to me is your development, and you did not develop Montas Buzelis tonight. So I don't feel too great about this game overall, but I'm glad to see Giddey have a great game. Like, that's a good sign for his development, and so I'm looking to see how that's going to work out. I saw a dumb mock trade between the Bulls, Warriors, Mavs, with the Kuminga going to the Bulls, Kobe going to Dallas. Forgot what GSW was getting. I believe GSW would be getting Daniel Gafford in that trade. I also think that's a pretty stupid trade. Let me be clear about my Kuminga opinion. I think Kuminga is absolutely one of the worst decisions you can go after right now, for many reasons. One, I don't think he's that effective of a player. If you're wondering, in the Bulls' most recent game against the Golden State Warriors on Sunday, Kuminga was active for that game. I thought he was injured. I tweeted out that he was still injured. My apologies. I corrected myself later. But Kuminga got a DMP CD against us, and the Warriors were just destroying us in that game. So I am very much against Kuminga. I do not want Jonathan Kuminga unless I'm trading Vucevic for Kuminga, which is not going to happen at this point. So I am very much against Jonathan Kuminga coming to the Bulls right now. Kuminga also only has one more year on his contract after this season. So if you trade for Kuminga, you're basically paying him more money, and I do not want to do that. So I am good on the Kuminga idea. I am not trading Kobe White for Kuminga. That is one of the stupidest ideas ever right now. I'm sorry to all Kuminga fans, but he is just not an effective player. He doesn't play good enough defense. His three-point shot is inconsistent, and he doesn't shoot well enough, okay? And look, man, I understand that Steve Kerr, like, is not, like, I know a lot of people hate Steve Kerr, but if you can't find a way to be effective in this Golden State Warriors system, you're the problem, okay? Like, it's just you, okay? I'm sorry. I know people are gonna be on me about that, but for a guy that is inconsistent from three-point range, doesn't play defense, his efficiency is just dropped. Like, I'm good. I can move on, honestly, from Kuminga. Reminder at this point that like he's not exactly like the youngest. He's now 23. Again, his contract right now is he has another year left on his deal. I'm good. Can't get him until January 15th anyway. So again, I'm good on the Kuminga train. So yeah, I'm all against it at this point. If I'm the Bulls are prioritizing getting as many second round picks as you can, because first round picks are too valuable now, and current contenders have none to trade, nor does Bulls have any assets worth multiple first round picks, I think. I agree with you, Noel, but I think for what we're about to talk about here, we're going to be targeting one of the young players for this team. If you can't obviously get that, then yes, you want second round picks for sure. But I think that the Bulls need to be targeting one of the young players for this from the Timberwolves here. I mean, as a team option for next year, right? Yes, he does, but it's just 1 year. And so you're basically trading for Kuminga now, which means that you're gonna have to pay him immediately right after next season, right? You can't offer him extension, by the way, so he will be hitting unrestricted free agency, because you can't offer an extension to a player that only has 2 years on a contract, and his is only 1 year guaranteed anyway. So yeah, I'm very much against this Kuminga idea. His contract doesn't make any sense for the Bulls, and his play is just not good enough. So I'm out on Kuminga, honestly. Him and Buzelis also just don't make sense together. So that's just my opinion. Kuminga's overvalued, not gonna lie, he is, and so I don't know what exactly the Warriors are gonna be doing with him, honestly. Okay, let's talk though about this idea, because this has been a big talking point, because Casey Johnson has talked about Kobe White going to the Timberwolves. Casey Johnson also mentioned that there's another Western Conference team maybe interested in Kobe White. I don't know who that would be, honestly. The only team I can kind of think about is Denver, maybe, but even then, that doesn't make any sense. So for now, though, we're gonna be just talking about the Timberwolves. Joe Coley also then kind of confirmed this, which again, I don't love Joe Coley. I really don't like him at all. But I mean, if you have two people in the Bulls sphere kind of confirming this sort of stuff, especially because it's Casey Johnson, you're going to have to kind of listen to it. And so, like I talked about earlier, we talked about this on the podcast. So if you want to go listen to what we talked about on the podcast with Alejandro and Trey Ruff, then go ahead and do that as well. But here's what I talked about on this podcast, okay? So let's go ahead and look at the Minnesota Timberwolves and what they can go ahead and trade here, and why the Timberwolves would want Kobe White in the first place, okay? So Houston, maybe it is Houston. That is actually a good call. But the problem with Houston is that like they can't even get a guy like Kobe unless they trade important pieces. So I don't think it's possible, honestly. But maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to double check that. Let's just right now, let's just talk about here, for example, just right now, let's just focus on the Timberwolves, okay? So why would the Timberwolves want Kobe White in the first place, okay? So why are they even interested in his services? Well, the thing is that they've been reliant on Mike Conley in the past years, and Mike Conley has been an incredible player in his time, but Father Time has officially hit him, okay? He is still getting some minutes here, but he has just become an ineffective player. He is shooting under 40% from the field. He's no longer starting. He's officially it's just time for Conley just to not be part of this rotation for the Timberwolves, especially because they're trying to be a legit team, right? They're trying to make it to the Western Conference Finals again here, and potentially even make it to the NBA Finals this season, right? So they're looking right now to go out and get a guard. Now, Casey Johnson and others have talked about it being point guard help. Now, what I personally look at it as is not necessarily point guard help, but guard help alone, okay? I look at Anthony Edwards as the point guard, okay? He's the main ball handler. The ball's in his hands constantly. He's the main decision maker. He's the main point guard, okay? But what they do need, though, is someone to take the ball pressure off of Anthony Edwards a little bit. And getting Kobe White, who's like a combo guard, who is not necessarily a point guard, right? But he's a combo guard that can handle the ball a little bit and make some of those decisions. That would be a good investment for them. He also does kind of fit next to Anthony Edwards as a good three-point shooter, right? So it's like how Darius is saying right here. Yeah, it is basically getting a secondary ball handler that is not just strictly a shooter, okay? Someone that can actually kind of run a pick and roll and make decisions, because as much as I love Dante DiVincenzo as a player, he's kind of just mostly just a shooter and cutter. Most of the time, he's like more of a spot up shooter, and decent defender, but he's not necessarily running the pick and roll effectively. So, hence why Kobe White is an option for them. Now, let's talk about what exactly a trade would look like. Now, if it was up to me, and with how this Bulls team has looked as one of the worst teams recently, losing to some of the bottom barrel teams in the league, yes, they just won against the Charlotte Hornets tonight, who did not have LaMelo Ball and others. So like, even this win doesn't make me change my opinion. This Bulls team has been absolutely atrocious since the 5-game winning streak. But let's talk. Like, if it was up to me personally, okay, I am looking for either Baron J or Dillingham in this trade, okay? I think this Bulls team needs to prioritize young talent, and especially young talent on rookie deals with long-term team control. And so Dillingham and Baron J are both on the rookie deals. Baron J is a rookie. Dillingham is in his second year, okay? And neither are really getting minutes for this Timberwolves team at this moment in time. So I am looking, if I'm the Bulls, to get either one of these guys in this deal. I think it would be absolutely worth their time to try to get either of these players and try to see if I can go ahead and snag one of them. Now, just to kind of look at just the stats really quickly. So here's Baron J. If you're wondering, Baron J was in the G League tonight. So he is not even considered part of the Wolves rotation right now. Dillingham just fell out of the rotation. Okay, he has not really played well at all. Bones Highland is coming back, I believe, and so Highland's going to be taking his spot anyway. And so if I'm the Bulls, okay, I want Baron J because it was already rumored that the Bulls were even looking to take Baron J with their pick in this past draft. The Bulls have very much been interested in Baron J since June. So if I'm the Bulls, I'm looking to try to get him right now. And in return, if you're wondering, I'm looking to just go ahead and take Mike Conley's contract back. Money-wise, this works, okay? It actually probably works out best in everybody's favor. The Timberwolves are sending out the most money. The Bulls can acquire the $2 million and not go into the luxury tax. The Bulls, they trade Kobe White. They get Baron J out of it. They most likely are just going to go ahead and waive Mike Conley after. But you're able to then turn Kobe White, who is going to become an unrestricted free agent after this season, and turn him into a center who is 19 years old and is on his rookie deal, and you have him under team control for the next 3 seasons. So he's very raw. I am very much aware of that, but I think this would be an absolute win if the Bulls can go ahead and make this deal. So this to me is what I am looking for if I'm the Chicago Bulls, okay? This is like what I would want in return. I think it makes sense for both teams, honestly, but again, I don't know what exactly the Timberwolves might think of these guys. They might actually really value Baron J and want him to replace Rudy Gobert or something like that. So if that is the case, then if I can't get Baron J, then I would want Dillingham. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't like small guards usually. I think small guards are they're dying in this league right now. I am very much aware of that right now. But I do think with Dillingham, for a guy that was drafted in the top 10, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, he was 8th. Like, he has some scoring ability in him. And so if he can go ahead and become like a dynamic scorer for us, which, yes, I am very much aware defensively he's not going to bring anything, but I would be just interested just to see what he can do. He is still under team control, so there's not much of a risk to him, right? So it's not like you're going to have to pay him immediately. But as you can see here, the money also still works, even if you go ahead and get Dillingham. So these are my main 2 targets. Now, if you're wondering about after that, okay, I know that some people are talking about Terrence Shannon Jr. I am very much against this guy. Terrence Shannon Jr. he's 25 already. So you're basically trading 25-year-old Kobe for 25-year-old Terrence Shannon Jr. That doesn't make much sense to me. As much as I do appreciate what he's done in his time with the Timberwolves, Terrence Shannon Jr. I'm talking about here, he's kind of turned into like an okay player, but he's not even a guard, honestly, which I think that would maybe be better for the Bulls. Like, he's definitely more of a forward, but he just doesn't interest me that much, honestly. I want guys with better overall upside, and so my next guy that I would actually target here is Leonard Miller, who I think actually has some upside here, and you can see he's played in some games, but he's shown me some upside if I can't get either of these 2 guys. If that is the case, though, that I can't get Baron J or Dillingham, you better throw me some second rounders in this trade, okay? So give me the Indiana pick if I can. I probably can't get it, but you have to give me one of these picks for this season, okay? So you have to give me one of these 2026 picks, and then which will probably be the Denver pick, for example, and then I don't know, give me give me the Cavs pick in 2027 or something like that. Okay. So money wise, this does not fully work, but I'll have to figure out how this would work, honestly. The Bulls have stuff that maybe they could also trade out here in this deal, but I'm actually kind of shocked. Why doesn't this work? Oh, then the first apron. Oh my god, I hate this. Okay. Okay, yeah, just send us Joe Ingles or something like in this deal as well. We'll take it. So that's my main kind of thing with Kobe. I think Baron J's your number 1 target. I think Dillingham's your number 2. If you can't get either of those guys for some reason, which I think, for example, I think Dillingham is very gettable right now. Like, I don't really understand why he would be part of this roster moving forward, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But if I could get either one of these two guys, I think it's a win, personally. I really do think that is honestly a win. What's up, Tyler? If we trade with the Wolves, give me Shannon and Baron J. Okay, interesting. I disagree about Shannon. I just don't I don't really like Shannon right now. It's just in terms of high upside, personally. I think I take 2nd round picks over Dillingham. Okay, I can understand that, honestly. I can understand that thought process. Most realistic AK trade would likely be Kobe for DiVincenzo and Shannon with no picks. So you're definitely reading my mind, Darius. What I do think what is going to happen instead right now is that I think that this is going to be the trade. Is that it's going to be DiVincenzo and Terrence Shannon Jr. or Kobe White and no picks involved. Like, I think this is the more likely scenario, like you just said. And I'm going to lose my mind if this is the trade, because the idea for the Bulls of why they would do this is because DiVincenzo has another year on his contract. Okay, he's making like $12 million this season. He's making $12.5 million next season. Okay, and so you basically don't have to pay Kobe White in this deal. You get Terrence Shannon Jr., I guess, and then you get DiVincenzo, who I guess the Bulls think is going to be a better starting backcourt mate for Giddey. Which, yes, he'll be better defensively, but it doesn't do anything for this Bulls team. Like, it's a lateral move, in my opinion, honestly, and I hate it. I am very much against this trade idea. I would be much more pleased with getting some 2nd round picks instead. Like, I'd rather take Conley and get some 2nd round picks versus taking this deal right here, honestly. Unless I'm actually able to go ahead and trade DiVincenzo for something pretty valuable. But I don't think you're going to be able to do that. So in my opinion, I would rather just take Conley and some minimum guy and get some picks out of it and some 2nd rounders. So do I think the Timberwolves are a very good trade partner for the Bulls when it comes to Kobe White? Yes. And I also think, if you're wondering, I think that there's even another world here where the Bulls can even offer some even more stuff here for the Timberwolves. So let me show you what exactly I'm thinking about. So if you're the Bulls, okay, obviously Kobe White is probably heading over, but the talk about what's been talked about is that the Timberwolves need point guard help or just general guard help because Bones Highland has been injured, but also not that great. Dillingham obviously is not exactly going anywhere right now. DiVincenzo, like we talked about, is more of just a shooting guard, like strictly, and not necessarily a combo guard. There's not really that much guard help on this team besides Jalen Clark right now, and he's been up and down, but like he's been okay. I don't think he's been like that bad, honestly, but like he's been up and down. But you could definitely use some help. And so I can't do this trade on Spot Track. So unfortunately I have to go to Fanspo, and I don't fully trust Fanspo when it comes to all the rules. But basically though, here's the trade idea that I have that we talked about in the podcast, but I do think is a pretty good idea from Alejandro that he told me. And it's going to involve trading another one of our guards. And I think it would be honestly still a pretty solid deal for the Bulls if this is going to be the case. And it's that obviously Kobe White is going to be heading on his way to Minnesota, but I'm also trading Trey Jones. So Kobe White and Trey Jones for Mike Conley, who again we're just going to waive. But would this get you over the line here, where you can get both Baron J and Dillingham in this deal? Like, if you're wondering about why, if you go ahead and, like, let's say, for example, try to do this trade, it says no. Only reason why, though, is that Trey Jones can't be traded till December 15th. Other than that, though, this is totally legal. You'd have to waive Mike Conley, obviously. The Timberwolves are going to have to fill in a spot here for the roster, which I've been trying to figure out like how I can maybe make this even, but I can't really figure out a way. But this would be the deal, honestly. You get Dillingham, Berenger, who I think obviously Berenger is the more kind of bigger asset that we're looking to go ahead and get, for Tre Jones and Kobe White. Now, I understand that there's maybe an argument why this would not be good enough for Tre Jones in return, but my argument in return is saying that I don't think if you're going to be trading Tre Jones, I don't think you get a first round pick for him in return. Especially if he's going to come off the bench, which he most likely will be for many teams. Most teams don't give up a first round pick for a bench player unless your name is Alex Caruso, which obviously the Bulls still didn't get back a first round pick for him. But I think that honestly, this is something that if the Timberwolves are very much just like win-win now, then I'm just pointing it out. Okay. Would this actually happen? Maybe not, but it is something that I think that needs to be considered. So that's just all I wanted to just point out here. I'd rather take Berenger over Dillingham. Berenger feels a bigger need, but I also think Berenger is also just a better prospect. So yes, I think in all cases, not just in terms of need, but also just in terms of like, I think that Berenger is just a better player and has potential to be the better player. Like Berenger should be the guy that you should be looking to get in this trade for sure. But with that being said, though, are the Timberwolves gonna be willing to part ways with Berenger for a guy that is on the last year of his contract that could just leave in free agency, right? So that's the thing that I think Bulls fans need to kind of consider right now is like, you might not be able to get him because they value him more. So if that's the case, then I'm still looking to trade Kobe White for something in terms of like young prospects in return, because I don't think you're going to get a first round pick for Kobe at this point. So, but if I can get a prospect that was drafted in the first round and is still has multiple years left on his rookie contract in Dillingham, I think it is personally worth it right now. It comes off as someone who's great from the neck down, i.e. Tyrese Thomas. Athleticism is higher than his basketball IQ. I think Terrence Shannon Jr. actually has some pretty decent basketball IQ. It's just that for the people that think he's a shooting guard, he is a power forward. He's much more limited than people think. Like, he doesn't have the ball in his hands. Like, he's much more restricted in terms of what he can do on the basketball court or in the NBA court. He's bigger than people think. I think people think he is. Like, he's just a bigger body. Can't really move around as a guard. He's definitely more of a forward than he is a guard at this point of his career. So I say Shannon because I think it's already known that Dillingham will never be a guy. Can't defend, is too small. What about Leonard Miller instead of Shannon, Tyler? Because in my opinion, I'd be more interested in Leonard Miller versus Terrence Shannon Jr. right now. Would you take Leonard Miller instead of Dillingham, or take Leonard Miller over Shannon if you're against Dillingham completely? I think Minnesota would do that unless they really, really want to get rid of Conley. But what if I said that Conley is such a detriment to them right now and they're trying to win now, right? Like this upgrades their team like right now. Okay, like I'm being dead serious. Like when I'm saying, like, I think a lot of trades that are being thrown out there are pretty ridiculous when it comes to some Bulls fans. But I think honestly, when it comes to these two trades or for these two teams in this trade, like you're thinking of where these teams are right now. Okay. The Timberwolves are trying to win now. They're like everything about them is trying to win now, and so Conley being a detriment right now, he can't really play. They're missing guard help. Like they're getting two very quality guards right now to come in and try to work off Anthony Edwards. Right? They're sacrificing their young prospects, but their prospects don't have the best value because they're not playing that much. Right? Dillingham is now currently benched, and he's not playing for them right now. And Berenger's played in 9 games and is currently in the G League. So yes, they're both first rounders. Berenger is much later in terms of a first round pick, but they're not exactly like, they don't have the best value right now, right? So I'm just saying, like, I think that there's a possibility for this to get done. Nobody for Conley and nobody and late second round picks. Where do we benefit from that trade? Is that what you in response to Leonard Miller, or what is that response to? Because if that's in response to Leonard Miller, okay, then I would disagree. I think that you're getting a couple of second-round picks in return for Kobe, who I don't think gets you a first, okay, who I don't think he's gonna get you much in return right now. He is a guy that is currently right now is working through injuries. He is not good defensively, and he's not had exactly the most efficient season right now. But you're trading into a team right now that it very clearly needs guard help. And Leonard Miller, to me, actually has some potential. He's a forward that I think actually has some potential in him. Yes, you're getting Conley, who you just would waive, and I understand that this is not going to work right now. But again, just throw in someone else here in this deal or whatever. But and you get 2 second-round picks out of this, which I think is pretty valuable overall for, again, a guy that is not going to sign an extension. You're getting some picks out of this deal. So I think it personally is something that the Bulls need to consider right now. But that's just my opinion. I know that a lot of people value Kobe White a lot higher, but I've been adamant that I don't think Kobe's trade value is going to be that high. I think if the Bulls could get Baron J straight up for Kobe, like I said, like if you get, again, Mike Conley's not part of this deal in terms of value in return, but I'm just saying that if this is like, if you deny this deal, okay, let's just point, I just want to make this clear. If people are denying this deal right here, if people think that this is not a good deal for the Bulls, then I completely disagree. I think this is a very good deal for the Bulls right now. If they can get Baron J right now for Kobe White, and yes, you'd be waiving Mike Conley right after here, but if you could go and get Baron J right now for Kobe White, that is an absolute win for the Bulls, okay? I want to make this clear right now. Getting Baron J for Kobe White is a win. That is an absolute win for the Bulls, okay? So I feel for Miller over Dillingham, but I'm not too informed on Miller. Okay, like Miller is, so I want to make this clear. Just because he's related to Emmanuel Miller, who is a two-way player for the Bulls, does not mean that he is worse, or sorry, that he is as bad as Emmanuel Miller. Leonard Miller has shown some promise. Like he's a good body that can actually kind of defend. He's shown some ability to get to the rim. I won't lie, his three-point shot, I don't like fully trust it, but he's 22, which is not, I understand it's not the best thing, but like he has shown some ability in his basketball games, as a guy that, yeah, like he can show a little bit. He hasn't played a lot, I am very much aware, but he's a guy that was drafted second round in the 2023 draft, so hence why he hasn't played a lot. But hence why, again, I have Dillingham over him. But if we're very much against Dillingham because he's super small, then I think this is potentially the guy to go after. So I'm just pointing that out. Three-point shot is not consistent, as you can see here. It's not something that he's shown a lot, but he's a bigger body that can get to the rim and kind of defend a little bit. So it's not much, but you're getting some second-round picks in return. Bulls are allergic to receiving picks in trades. Either that or they suck at negotiating. They don't value picks. So yeah, this to me seems like the most like if the Bulls are getting good value, like this is the most realistic. No picks involved. You get Baron J, who you wanted in this past draft, okay, and you waive Mike Conley. No picks involved. The Timberwolves get guard help, which they desperately need. They sacrifice one of their young assets to do so. But they also get Mike Conley's contract off the books, which is something that they need to do. They even get themselves lower in the taxes. Like, it's a win-win-win in terms of what I think for the Timberwolves right now, except for the fact that Kobe's on the last year of his deal. So that's the big problem with Kobe, is just that, like, they might say this is too much for Kobe White because he's on the last year of his deal. We can't offer him an extension he's going to accept. Therefore, this is not good enough. Hence, then I say we go to Dillingham. Also make Kobe look way better. I would argue that he gets less shots, though. I think when it comes to for the Timberwolves for Kobe White, like, he's going to the Timberwolves where Anthony Edwards is the main guy, Julius Randle's the number 2 guy, and Kobe's gonna have to be the 3rd guy. And if anything, he might not even start. But that's the trade-off, right? You're trading because Mike Conley is not much of a guard right now for them, but you're trading for Kobe, who can go out and actually handle the ball and run a pick and roll for them. So they get flyer for a 19-year-old center for Kobe would definitely be a win, and he's on he still has his entire rookie deal left still. Like, if I can do this right now, I am doing this trade if I'm the Bulls right now. This is a good decision if you're the Bulls. I honestly don't think any other deal is going to get much better for Kobe White. I really don't. Again, Kobe's value right now is declining. In my opinion, it's declining by the day, and he's had calf issues all season long. He has not played in a lot of games already this season, and his shooting percentages have not been good. So, if you can do this trade, though, for Kobe, like, I think it's worth it. Now, look, let me be clear about Berenjay, okay? Berenjay, again, he has not played a lot this season. He is very raw, okay? But the reason why the Bulls wanted him potentially in the draft is that he has the ability to rim run effectively and become a really good shot blocker. The good news to see here is that he is shooting very well overall from the field. That's a good sign. That is something that he is going to have to do in his time in the NBA. But I just want to see here. I forget Iowa City Bulls. I never remember what exactly the yeah, it's Iowa Wolves. Okay, I got it right. Let's go ahead and look and see what he did tonight. I wish I could bring up highlights. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm not able to. But here's Berenjay tonight. So yeah, it's pretty typical for what I'm expecting from him right now. So it's 11 rebounds. Fortunately, he fouled out though. 10 points though. He got let's see, yeah. He unfortunately was not able to get a block shot, but 5 for 10 from the field. And I did see a highlight. Let me see if I can pull it up on Twitter here. Here's the one highlight I was able to see on Twitter. This came across my feed. But here's Berenjay is gonna get the rebound here, pass it back out, thrown, and then here's the lob to him in transition. So as you can see, he's pretty athletic. He moves pretty well for a center. And he is definitely looked at as then for the Bulls would be like the center of the future. Should be able to hopefully come in and give the rim protection that we're looking for. It's gonna definitely take some time to develop him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's gonna come in and be effective day one, but he is a guy that has all of the physical tools to become that guy that we're looking for as a center. Very young, as you can see here. He just recently turned 19. So yes, he is then very much kind of how like Asengi is. It's just like, yeah, very young, one of the youngest players in the draft, very raw. But he's a guy that I do think that it would be worth it for the Bulls to go ahead and try to take a chance on. So I'd be personally all for it. Perfect next to Giddey. Well, not just next to Giddey, in my opinion. I think it's a really good fit for a lot of these guys because a lot of these guys are not good defenders right now. And having a good rim protector would be really nice. Again, he is not going to come in and be like impacting the game a lot in day one. He won't be, okay? I would hope he would get minutes if we end up trading for him, which would mean that we're probably going to have to trade Vucevic and probably Gio Smith as well, if that would be the case. And so then it would be like Zach Collins and Berenjay would be our two centers. But I want to see him play. Like, and even if that means just him going to the G League, like that's totally fine with me. But I think this is honestly worth it. And again, like if you're wondering like why the Timberwolves would do this, like this guy is not going to be ready for a while for them. Okay. The Bulls have time. I'm sorry. Like I want to make this clear to Bulls fans. Okay. Like this Bulls team is not going to be winning anything anytime soon. So you have time to develop these guys. Like that's the reason why I wasn't against the Asenge pick, because people are thinking, oh, we got to win now, when it's just like, no, we're very much far away from this team becoming actually good defensively or anything good in general as a team. Okay. So the Bulls have time. Like they can wait for this guy to, get into his third year before he can actually start contributing effectively. I'm not saying it's the most ideal situation, but like you have to be starting to kind of look at some of these guys that you can take some of these risks on. And the Timberwolves right now, like they're all in and trying to win, right? Like they're trying to win very, very effectively right now. Like they don't have time to wait around for Baron J to suddenly become this big, effective player. And they still have Rudy Gobert right now. Like I don't really know what exactly they'd be looking for when it comes to Baron J. And so why would they be willing to get rid of him? Well, like it depends on exactly how much they do value him right now, but he's a guy that, yeah, he was picked in the first round, a little bit later though in the first round. But it's not like he's gonna have like a massive amount of trade value at this moment in time, because he's not really playing a lot right now. He's not like one of like the top rookies, like compared to like Knipple is right now, who obviously was picked high, but like, he's not Derek Queen right now, who was, picked 4 picks ahead of him. And Derek Queen's playing a lot, pretty well right now. So he doesn't have the best trade value. So because of his age, like there's even a consideration for the Timberwolves right now. Like his best trade value is now, because like he might not be part of this team's rotation next season, but he's a year older, right? So it might be best for them to cash in on this pick now, or this prospect now, and cash in and try to get a guy to win now, like Kobe White, for example. It all depends how, I guess, how the Wolves view Baron J, or if they think he's their center of the future. But at the same time, they're trying to win now, so I get it. And the Bulls value him pretty highly. He had to have been on their draft board. He was 100% on the Bulls draft board, yes, for sure. And so, like, if you're the Bulls, for example, you're saying, like, okay, this is a guy, if you go to the Timberwolves, you're making the argument saying that this is a guy that's not in your rotation right now. He's currently in your G League, okay? He's not part of your team right now, okay? You're trying to win this season. You need guard help. Like, Conley has declined again. You need help for Anthony Edwards, because Anthony Edwards is doing a ton by himself right now, okay? We can offer you Kobe White, who is one of our better guards on this roster that can go out and get you 20 a night. Yes, he's limited defensively, but we're not sending you the most perfect guard, because you're not sending us a great trade package either. You're sending us a guy who's very raw, right? That is not going to be ready to probably be impactful for a couple of years here. And so are you going to wait around and try to act as if that you have time to go ahead and develop this guy? Or are you going to actually go ahead and say, yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and give us this help for Anthony Edwards to try to beat the Thunder this time. Because we've been to the Western Conference Finals for 2 years straight. We very clearly have a window right now to try to maximize your opportunity. We got to go ahead and make these moves. So, yeah, it definitely does come down to how the Timberwolves kind of view themselves. Are they currently in the middle of a window right now that they have to maximize their opportunity, which I think they should. And that's not me saying this just because I want this trade to go through. It's me saying this because the Timberwolves right now, like, you made it to the Western Conference Finals in back-to-back years, but Gobert's a year older. I don't know how exactly the Julius Randle, sort of play is going to be working moving forward. But Anthony Edwards, like, I don't know, like, he kind of concerns me a little bit, just because I do think that his game is kind of predicated on athleticism, and I don't really know how much I can trust him to continue to put up these level of numbers, which is just insane from him right now. But I mean, right now though, what you do know is that you have Anthony Edwards as this massive superstar that is one of the best players in the league, that is leading this team to Western Conference Finals opportunities. So I would absolutely be looking to cash in right now, and trying to make sure I maximize this little window that we have. Because I think when Gobert officially is gonna be done, and I don't know when exactly they're gonna be moving on from Randall, but he's also 31. Like, I think it's gonna have to be a little bit of reset for them, and for them to try to figure out who's gonna be like their next kind of supporting cast for Anthony Edwards. And it's gonna be tough for them. I don't know how exactly it's gonna be for them to try to find that sort of like next guy to pair next to Anthony Edwards right now. But I think it's worth it personally. I think that this would be absolutely worth their time. Conley's gone, and they respect Conley a lot, but it's just like, hey, it's time, and we have to sacrifice one of our young pieces for it right now, and I think that's totally okay. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion at the end of the day. Do you think Timberwolves would ask us for a pick since Kobe only has 1 year left? I personally don't think they would, but I can see where you're coming from. My argument against that, though, is that you're like if you're the Bulls making this deal, like you're very clearly like hitting the rebuild button, which you should be doing. You're not prioritizing winning, right? And so all your picks are very valuable, and I would hope that the Timberwolves would understand that. And so asking for a pick is just like, that's just off the table. There's no reason for the Bulls to be sending a pick in this deal whatsoever. Like you're offering the Minnesota Timberwolves a lot of help right now, and you're not even getting any picks in return. You're just asking for one of their draft prospects right now. I think it's personally like it's a fair trade off in my opinion. Yes, Kobe is unexpiring, but I think it's a fair trade off. And so asking for a pick from the Bulls, if they actually go ahead and do this deal, I think is pretty stupid for the Timberwolves. Because the Bulls could just be like, okay, well, good luck finding a guard that is on a less than $13 million contract this season for you to go out and get, that you can trade Mike Conley and, one of your young prospects for right now, that is worth your time. And you don't have to trade like Naz Reid or Jaden McDaniels or something like that to try to make the deal work, right? That's gonna be their argument in return. However, like I told you, like you said earlier, Darius, I really do think that the deal being discussed right now is Dante DiVincenzo and Terrence Shannon Jr. I really do think that's gonna probably end up what's happening, and if that does happen, I'm gonna lose my shit because it doesn't do anything for this Bulls team. It's a lateral move. Yes, DiVincenzo is a better defender, but he's not. I would argue that Kobe's a better scorer. And Terrence Shannon Jr., like, yeah, he's like interesting, but he's 25. Like, I don't really have much faith in him becoming much more than he is right now. Maybe that's bad on my part, and I'm just like, I'm heavily underestimating his ability to develop. But like, he's in his age 25 season, brother. I like, don't get me wrong, he's become a pretty interesting player for what he's become, but I'm just not that interested in what he is right now. Like, again, if you think he's a guard, okay, he's not. He moves more like Patrick Williams than he does as a guard, okay? So, like, a 6'6" guy that is much more of a forward, doesn't shoot the best overall from the field right now, but again, he's limited in his mobility. Like, I'm just not that interested. So again, I understand that some people are going to be heavily interested in him because of the Illinois connection. He's from Lincoln Park. Like, I get it, but I just, for me, I'm good personally. I'd be shocked if DiVincenzo is in the trade. Yeah. And again, don't get me wrong. I like Dante DiVincenzo. I think DiVincenzo is a very solid player. I just don't understand why we're getting him. Like, he doesn't make this team like suddenly so much better that we're gonna increase our win total for the season. Like, it doesn't do us anything at all. Again, he's a better defender. He gets steals, but he's limited in terms of what he can do in terms of with the ball in his hands. Like, he's definitely mostly just a shooter, spot up shooter. Very good one though, but he, his overall field goal percentage is below 42%. Like, I'm very much aware that it's just like you're trading Kobe's scoring for a good shooter, volume shooter in DiVincenzo, and a little bit better defender, but it's not like you got much better even if you did get better from this trade. So I think I remember reading something about the Bulls having interest in DiVincenzo a few years ago before the Warriors got him. Yeah. So when the season we signed Javon Carter, which, hey, my bad also on that deal. I thought that was a good deal as well. But that deal, that offseason, the Bulls I was hoping like my main target for the Bulls was Dante DiVincenzo. He was like number 1 or number 2 on my list. But yeah, then the Warriors, it was either the Warriors or the Knicks got him. I think it was the Knicks, but, maybe no, it was this season. You're right. It was this year. Yeah. So yeah, it would definitely be an interesting thought if we see DiVincenzo come into the Bulls uniform. It's just like, well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, I like him a lot. I'm like, what's the point? This team needs to rebuild. This team needs to full out rebuild and just get young talent, and get draft picks. But going after DiVincenzo, not getting any picks back in the deal, getting Terrence Shannon Jr., who, yes, is on a long-term team-friendly deal, but it's just like, he's not that young. He's 25. He's the same age as Kobe. Like, I just don't get it. So, again, Again, this is my main target right now. I think it's going to be on the table. I would hope if the Bulls actually have a brain. Trading Kobe White for Baron J is, I think, a very, very solid decision. And I would hope that they're interested in doing it. But I'm not sure exactly what's going through their heads. I think the Terrence Shannon Jr. and Dante DiVincenzo trade is instead what's being talked about. So I'm gonna lose my mind when it does happen. Who else did you say, Darius, that might be interested in Kobe? I know that we were talking about potentially another team for Kobe White. In alternate universe where the DeRozan, Levine, Lonzo team worked, then DiVincenzo would be a great fit. But now, nah. Yeah, I mean, DiVincenzo on that team would have been a perfect fit. Like, he would have done a lot for that Bulls team. He would have really helped replace the Lonzo miss, right? Like, when Lonzo was out, like DiVincenzo, like, he's not Lonzo defensively, but he's all right defensively. But he would bring the three-point shooting that this team desperately needed. The volume three-point shooting that Lonzo was offering or supporting us with when he was healthy. And so, like, he would basically kind of fit into the Lonzo role that the Bulls were looking for. But Lonzo obviously was out. So, yeah, it would have helped a lot. Not saying it would have made that Bulls team a contender. It wouldn't have. Like, even when the Bulls were at the top of the Eastern Conference that season with Lonzo healthy, I was adamant that Bulls team was not a contender. I was very adamant that team was going to still end up being a 4 or 6 seed, or 4 through 6 seed, and look, they ended up as a 6 seed. So, I was not shocked to see that. Even with the Levine injury, like, I was still adamant like this Bulls team wasn't going to be that great as a contending level status. But could they have gotten the 4 seed with Levine not getting injured and Lonzo being healthy? Yeah, I think it was very doable. They would have won like 50 games that season, but they weren't a contender though. They weren't going to beat the best teams in the East. Dallas or Houston were my guesses. Okay, so I have not looked into this too much. This is definitely an interesting thought, though. Houston, my biggest concern with Houston is just the fact that they just don't have anything to trade. Besides Reed Shepherd, and obviously that's not going to happen right now. So, I honestly, with the way that Houston is currently at with their hard cap right now, I don't know how this is doable besides them trading Dorian Finney-Smith, which I don't think they're going to do. They're not trading Jabari Smith Jr. Like Tari Eason, like this is nowhere close to the amount of money you need to trade for this deal to get done. Like, I know a lot of Bulls fans think like, oh yeah, this would be great. I'm like, I promise you right now, this is not going to be offered to us. Like, if AK is able to pull this off, I will absolutely bow down to him and be like, I am so sorry, but this is not going to happen. I promise you, this is not going to happen right now. Okay. I also think just Reed Shepherd, with how important that he has been to this Rockets team, like, he is vital for them right now. Like, I don't think that he's going to be part of any sort of deals at this current moment in time. So I'm sorry to say it, but it's just not going to happen. So, I mean, let's see here. I haven't watched too many Rockets games, but like, I know that Clint Capella has been sort of part of the team, but like, he's definitely not as important as Steven Adams. So I just want to see here, like, what we're looking at. So yeah, definitely less minutes overall. Steven Adams has been more important to them, and he's just been an incredible player this season so far. Şengün's obviously their main starting center, but they've also started big with Adams starting. So I mean, I'd be taking away their third, like, money wise, at least in my head, I think. No, actually it wouldn't. Oh boy. Okay. Oh boy. Money wise. Sorry, hold on. Let me just see if this would work. I have to also go and check and see how much the Rockets are right below the apron, because they're hard capped right now. So like, it physically just wouldn't work. But let's see, Clint Capella. Let's see what this would do. Okay, how much are they hard capped by? Okay, this is what I'm looking for. Yeah, this would cross them over the hard cap, unfortunately. That's the problem. Yep, this is what I was worried about. Oh. So even the Capella and Tari Eason idea is just not doable, unfortunately. Yeah, the Rockets are actually like, I just want to look at this. The Rockets are actually like, there's just no way they can even do it. Like, they have, yeah, oh my god, they have a million. Wait, so why doesn't this work then? Like, if they have a million, what are we sending out? God, you gotta be kidding me. Forget this. God, man, I wish Spot Trick would work right now because I want to see if this would actually work. I can't, unfortunately, I can't make this trade, but I'm just like, huh, would this actually fit? But like, I'm trying to just do the math in my head, and I'm like, I think it might. But then the problem for them though is that they had to fill out the roster still with a roster spot, and they wouldn't have any money to do so. So I think unfortunately it's just off the table. He's just probably figuring out how to get Giannis. I mean, yeah, I would definitely be looking to get Giannis if I was Houston right now. Like they have all the assets to try to get him. If you're wondering how they get Giannis, by the way, like it's very doable. It matters what the Bucks obviously want, but like, it's definitely very doable. I watched a lot of Houston this year. Is Shepard really that good? He's not like that good, but like he's had a really good year for all things considered. Like he was in the G League mostly last season, so to see him like, you know, kind of rebound back, be very efficient from the field in terms of his 3-point shot, handle the ball in certain moments effectively. He's been pretty effective for them for a team that is needing 3-point shooting. Like he's needed. Okay, again, unfortunately, I can't do this on stream because of just the spot track limitations. So once December 15th hit, this could be a lot better for everything. But like, basically, to get Giannis, they'd trade Fred VanVleet. You'd be trading Finney, probably DFS and Jabari Smith Jr. and Amen Thompson and then others, right? Money wise, you would get there. It would definitely gut the roster, which is going to be the problem. But I think that's definitely doable for Houston. And oh, by the way, they still have a decent amount of picks left remaining, even after making the Kevin Durant deal. Like they still have a decent amount of picks left remaining here to go ahead and trade. So I think it's very doable for Houston to go ahead and get Giannis. Unfortunately, I can't do it here, but I can do it on Fanspo. But it is definitely something just to full out consider. Oh, sorry. We were on Houston. All right. Oh, I just want to see if I can get there. So like, it would be this, and at bare minimum that. Let's see. Where are we at here? Yeah, I mean, money-wise already, this gets you there. Obviously, there's some limitations here for the Bucks. They're saying we have to like cut a little bit off, but like I don't know. There's definitely ways I could like adjust this trade to figure this out. Yeah, you want Torian Prince? Sure. Like, all right, money wise, this would work. Money wise, this 100% works. 22.3, right? So, yeah, money wise, this works. Throwing all the picks, and yep, there you go. If they can figure out a way to keep Amen Thompson, it'd be a huge win for them. I'm really high on Amen Thompson, by the way. I mean, yeah, that'd be ideal, but I personally just don't like. If I'm Houston, I also love Amen Thompson. I just don't care. Like, if I could get Giannis, bro, it's worth it to me. So. Yeah, I mean, think about it. You'd have Durant, Şengün, and Giannis on the team. Like, that's a squad, bro. Like, that's an insane squad. I love Amen Thompson, but to me, it's worth it. You still have Shepard, you still have Tari Eason to work around with, still have Steven Adams. They're gonna have to find ways to kind of fill out the rest of their roster, but I'd be all for it personally. Who knows? We'll see what they end up doing. All right, Dallas. You said Dallas. That's gonna be something that I can't. I unfortunately just can't see why Dallas would be interested. Like I'm having trouble seeing this. Like I understand like they need guard help, but like I also think that they just need to just kind of phone in this season. Like there's like no reason to try to win this year, honestly, if you're Dallas. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just being harsh, but like I just don't think that they're a good overall team. I know Anthony Davis is constantly injured and like Kyrie Irving's out. So like I mean, if they actually think that Irving is gonna come back and like offer some support, like okay, but I think this year just needs to be just go be bad, honestly. But very clear they're not doing that yet. I mean, standings wise, like as you see here, like they're still trying. So they're basically kind of where the Bulls are at right now. So I guess that means that they're definitely still trying. Okay, let's see how can I get Kobe here. So yeah, man, I don't love really much of what they have on this roster anyway. There's no one really that I'm like interested in besides Derek Lively, but he's absolutely injured and off the table. I know a lot of Bulls fans want Gafford. I'm not like that high on it right now, just because I think this Bulls team should be full out rebuilding. But I don't like. Don't get me wrong, like Gafford would definitely help this team, but I just don't get it. Like I want picks. I want young prospects. I don't want a 27-year-old Daniel Gafford who I don't even know if you can even play 30 minutes a game because they just split time between him and Lively. I like Jaden Hardy, but he's now 23. So like trade wise, like I don't know. I like I'm just throwing out ideas like Caleb Martin for Kobe White. Does this work? It fails. Yeah, man, they're hard capped. Oh my god. And they can't even trade PJ Washington until after the trade deadline. So like Max Christie's interesting to me. You're gonna have to add in some picks though. There's not a lot to offer. Yeah, I'm gonna just say that there's just no way this is gonna work. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you think about trading Şengün instead of Giannis and play center? No. Personally, I would have Giannis be the main ball handler. And then Durant is my wing, right? And then Şengün's my center. I think that team would be just insane. Clippers, maybe they lose Beal for the year. The Clippers have no reason to try to make any win now moves, bro. Like, I guess they do, but like, holy shit, they're in such a horrible spot right now. I would love Lively if he wasn't so hurt all the time. I mean, again, you're not even gonna get Lively for Kobe in the first place. Like, even if he was healthy, like, it's just not gonna happen. But yeah, I mean, I obviously would also want Lively. Lively would be the guy. But other than that, I don't like anything else on this Mavs roster besides maybe Max Christie. I don't love that idea either, honestly. So, yeah, I think this one's cooked. Clippers. Yeah, Clippers are in such a hell spot also that I don't have much faith in them figuring out a deal for Kobe either, but let's try. What are we looking at here? Oh my god. Okay. It's just like, oh my god. Like, this would be the trade, basically, right? Like, and this is such an AK trade. Oh my god, I don't want. I'm gonna lose my mind if this is what happens, man. I'm gonna hate this. Oh fuck! No. Oh no. I'm gonna be so mad when this happens. Oh shit! No, guys. It's gonna be Kobe for Bogdanovich. Oh god. Yo, bro, if that happens, if this is what happens, bro, oh my fucking god, I'm gonna lose my mind. Bogdanovich is washed at this point. He's 33 years old. He's not that effective. He's injured and not playing many games. Oh my god, I hate this idea. But this is what it would be. Like, it's like, honestly, I feel like it's the only contract that would work, right? And there's like, I don't know what they'd be willing to get. Like, I mean, like, maybe I could get Cameron Christie out of this deal, but this is not worth it to me, honestly. But oh my god, I despise Bogdanovich at this point of his career. He's just not that good, unfortunately. But it would just be so balls if they went ahead and did this deal. Okay, at least it's a team option, at least for the following year. But holy shit, I don't want Bogdanovich at all. Oh my god, that would just Yeah, I just think this team is cooked. This team is just bad at this point. They had to constantly listen to Stacey King glaze him and talk about how great a scorer Bogdanovich is. Yeah, they're gonna be talking about how much like Bogdanovich would kill us when he was playing in Atlanta, and he could like handle the ball and do all these sorts of things on offense. Like, he's just, unfortunately for Bogdanovich, like in his great days, he was a very solid player. He's just washed at this point. Like, he's just not anything that we need. Like, yeah, when he was with Atlanta in these years, like, he was a very, very solid player. It's just not at this point now. It's just not anymore. He struggles defensively. He's not as efficient anymore. Like, it's just not what we need. Oh my god, it would be so balls to go and trade for him. Yeah, I'm gonna lose my mind if that happens. All right. Yeah, so I mean that's what I got for you, Darius. I'm sorry. Unfortunately I can't really think of many other like deals right now for any of these teams that we mentioned. Like, I think the Dallas idea unfortunately is just cooked. Unless we're gonna be willing to trade for Caleb Martin. Like, I'm gonna be so pissed off if we do that. Let's look. So, like, San Antonio, there's no way they're trading for Kobe White. They already have 1 billion guards on the roster. Like, I think Minnesota is honestly a very solid choice. I can maybe see Golden State. I just don't know how they get him there. Memphis is just they wouldn't trade for a guy that's about to be an expiring deal. It's just, or he's on expiring. It's not going to work. Denver, I did think about. I'm going to think about Denver for a little bit longer because, like, Christian Brown's injured right now, but let me think about that for a little bit longer. After that, I mean, like, I don't really know why any other teams would look to trade for Kobe. Like, I think maybe the only other team is Portland. I mean, they're trying to win. So I don't know. Yeah, Denver. Let me look at Denver here really quickly before we go ahead and just finish off the stream. Problem is with Denver is just, again, their salary situation is just as rough. Like, the new CBA sucks, and so you can't really do too much. But okay, Zeke Naji. Yeah, I guess it's doable. I guess now I'm looking at, like, it's doable. I don't know if they're gonna really offer anything that's like that valuable to the Bulls, but like I guess money wise, I can see a world. Okay, so like this guy is unfortunately he's coming to us. He's bad, but like he'd be coming to us, unfortunately. And then like you would get like your option between like Peyton Watson, Day'Ron Holmes, and Julian Strawther. And so like, sure. He's an expiring though, so I think I'd rather take Strawther or Day'Ron Holmes. Does that even work then? This does not work. I'm gonna lose my mind. Fuck. Okay. Does Dayron Holmes work? This does work. Okay. This just barely works. So, sure. I don't really love any of these guys, but like this is kind of what they can just offer. It's just like, all right, yeah, here's Ignaji because like that's the contract that needs to go out. We can maybe send you a 2028 pick. We can't send you anything in the near term here because we don't control our first round pick for a long time, as you can see. So, good luck. Like this is the deal, I guess, and I hate it, but sure, yeah. I take Holmes, sure, yeah. I don't love any of these guys. Like I think unfortunately I think the guy I like the most is Peyton Watson. I think I like him the most out of all of them. But yeah, I don't love any of these moves, honestly. It would definitely fit in though of the idea of young players with experience. Like all these guys have been on this, you know, Denver team when they were in big moments. So I mean Peyton Watson, I think honestly at this point is just not someone they're gonna look to trade. Like he's just too important to them. So it'd be Dayron Holmes and Julian Strother, who two guys that have been unproven but have played some minutes for them. I don't like either one of them honestly, but yeah, I think I pick Holmes. Oh, I forget. Wait, is Holmes a rookie? He is. Oh, he is. My bad. I did not know that. He has not played with this team. I forgot he was injured. He was injured last season. Ah, right. Okay. I might actually be confusing him with someone else then. Or have I just seen his like G League stats maybe or something like that? I mean, I'll have to go check at it. So look more on that one. Holmes intrigues me a bit though. What is Holmes's like G? I think he's been like kind of tearing up the G League. Well, very clearly, I'm not the only person that has looked at this because it was coming up in the search bar immediately. Great, love that. Okay, well, here's his G League stats. I don't know why this doesn't show up anymore, but like, here's his G League stats for the season so far. Which is, yeah, I'd be interested, I guess. Sure. I don't love this idea though. Let me look at Golden State that round off these ideas. And look, don't get me wrong. Maybe trading Kobe right now is not the right time, and we might have to wait until February. But let me be very clear about this right now. I really do think that trading Kobe like needs to be a priority for this team. Or you're trading both Giddey and Kobe. Like, or you're trading Giddey. What I'll honestly, I'll take either one. Okay, like in my opinion, I think Giddey's here to stay. Because he just signed the contract. Now, could I see a world where I think trading Giddey is the right decision? Yeah, I've been actually adamant that the only guys that I think should stay on the team are Buzelis and Asenge, honestly. I think that everybody else should be on the table in terms of just trading away, trying to get any sort of value for them in return. Including Giddey, because I feel like if you don't think Giddey's going to be your main point guard or the future right now, or main ball handler, then I don't think his numbers are going to look any better in the future than they do right now. So I honestly would look to trade him now, but I know a lot of people are very much against that, and I get it. But I'm just like, hey man, like if the Bulls are like flat out just going to be like, yep, we're going to be rebuilding and building through the draft again, then I think trading Giddey is not a horrible idea. But I understand people are against it. But that was something that has been brought to my attention and I think is worth looking into. Yeah, this might also just be cooked. Like, Moses Moody's been too important for the Warriors this season. I know the Warriors they're not in great shape right now, but like they're still okay. But Moses Moody's been too important for them. Paul Richards been really solid for them. So like you have to take on Buddy Hield's contract. Oh boy, yeah, I think this one's also just cooked. Like you take Buddy Hield, which I don't want. Like, God, they're gonna like, yeah, like this doesn't even work. Okay, Yeah, I'm gonna say this is not possible unless you trade Moses Moody. Which, like, don't get me wrong, I like Moses Moody. I just don't like why would Golden State do this deal? I don't understand why they would do this, honestly. So, yeah, I don't see this happening, honestly. Golden State has first, but they don't have much after that, unfortunately. So, yeah, I think it's just not possible. GP2. Yeah, I mean, I actually think GP is actually important to them. Like, I'm being dead serious. Like, he's a guy that they actually do play a decent amount. So, I don't think you're gonna be able to. I don't think they're gonna part with him. Yeah, Moody's the obvious choice, but like Moody's actually been like pretty important to them this season. Like, he's actually like played pretty well. So I guess it's just like if they're willing to trade for Kobe and they're willing to trade Moody, then like that means like they fully trust Will Richard. D'Anthony Melton's like playing very well. Seth Curry's coming and giving some offense. Like Buddy Hield still, like he found his shot again, which like right now he hasn't found it. And like Pajimski's gonna have to like find a way to like improve. But like I feel like they have already too many guards on the roster. And if they're gonna go ahead and make a decision here, they're gonna go and trade for someone that is a bigger guy that can offer some defensive support and can score in the interior a little bit more. But that's my opinion at the end of the day. I do think though, like what I said earlier, right? Anthony Melton's only played in 2 games. Yeah, Melton just got back. His first game back this season was against us, and he was okay. But like I think people forget how good D'Anthony Melton is. Like he's actually like a really solid player. But he tore his ACL last season, I think it was, or whatever it was at the end. I forget what it was, but yeah, he just got back from injury. I always forget how to spell his name. Okay, yeah, it's the D apostrophe Anthony. But I mean, like last season before he got injured, like he was doing pretty well, honestly, for Golden State, which he didn't play much. But the problem with him has just been injuries. Like he's been like when he's been healthy recently, like he's been very solid. But he's just not been healthy, unfortunately. So let's see, what was he injured with? Oh, I guess we don't know. My bad. I thought it was gonna show us, but yeah. So, like, he's a very solid player. It's just that I don't know if the Warriors are gonna fully believe in him right now. But who knows? Like I said though earlier, I do really think that Minnesota is the best option. Like, it honestly makes the most sense in my head for both these teams to be targeting one another for things that we want. Like, I think that the Bulls would love to get Berenger, and I do think that the Minnesota Timberwolves are really looking for some guard help right now, to help support Anthony Edwards and to kind of take some pressure off of him as a secondary ball handler. So I really do think that Kobe to the Minnesota Timberwolves makes a lot of sense. I'll briefly look at the East, but like I don't like the only team that just like makes sense in my head is the Magic. We've like extensively talked about the Magic already with Kobe White. And I just like they have Desmond Bane now, so like why would they do this? Cleveland doesn't make any sense. They already have their backcourt. Miami, no, they already have Tyler Hero and Norman Powell. Atlanta has Naw, and once Trae Young comes back, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker's just been so much better. The Bucks wouldn't trade for Kobe. They're looking for a bigger swing, I think, but maybe I'm wrong. New York, there's no way. Detroit, there's no way. Detroit would make a better decision than that. They already have Jaden Ivey anyway. No way for New York. Boston, they already have Pritchard, White, and Simons. Well, I understand that Simons could be a trade candidate, but he makes too much money to trade for Kobe White. Philly, they have their backcourt already with VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey. Toronto, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley already. It just doesn't make sense to me either. I'll look into this a little bit more maybe, but I just don't see a world where Kobe's going east. The only team that I can maybe see is Orlando, but they just got Desmond Bane, and they have no picks to trade anyway. but like, I just think that there's no reason, honestly, for it. Like, I want Anthony Black. Not gonna get him. Like, what would this do? Ooh. Okay. Sorry, hold on. I'm just trying to think here. So, I will say this for the Magic. Tyus Jones has been horrible for them. Like, he has been one of the worst players in the league for the Magic. Or for like, he has just been honestly disgustingly bad. So like, they could definitely use some guard help off the bench a little bit, but like, Anthony Black's having like a really nice season so far. So like, the Bulls get Jonathan Isaac, they get Jace Richardson. Like, I mean, I'd be kind of interested in this. Richardson's 20, like, he's, you know, he's definitely like a scoring guard type, but he's intriguing, you know, rookie contract and everything like that. Oh, sorry, I meant to click Magic, my bad. I would, like, don't get me wrong, like, my main target would be Anthony Black. Like, I would want Anthony Black 100%, but you're not gonna get him. He's actually, like, as you see here, like, he's actually had like a really solid season for Orlando, and they need him right now, especially with Wagner being out. So, okay, like, you're not getting De Silva. He's also played a super important role, I think. So, like, yeah, like, give me Jonathan Isaac and give me Jace Richardson. There might be a world, honestly, where I want Penda instead. Like, instead of getting Jace Richardson, I want Penda. But I think they actually kind of like him. Don't give me Jet Howard. I do not want Jet Howard, by the way. Like, if I get Jet Howard in that deal, I'm gonna be pretty pissed. So yeah, like, it would be Jonathan Isaac and Jace Richardson or Noah Penda for Kobe White. God, would the Bulls have to send in something else? Like, I don't know how I'd feel if I was Orlando. Like, he helps in terms of their scoring. Like, they need scoring, definitely, off the bench. Yeah, oh, yeah, sorry, Darius. I do not want Jet Howard. This guy has been extremely disappointing. I do not want him. He unfortunately has just not had a good overall career. He's been extremely disappointing. I talked to my friend David about him. He is just not developed at all. He is strictly just a shooter, and like, that's it. Like, but he's also like not like big enough to kind of like even do anything else. Yeah, it has not been good for him, unfortunately. He's been spending a lot of time in the G League, and hasn't done much. Like, it's just, yeah, unfortunately, I'm just not interested in him. I'm more interested in Jace Richardson than Jet Howard at this point. And it's probably because I have that Orlando Magic connection to my friend David. Like, my friend David is he watches all Orlando Magic games. Like, he's tuned in. He's been a Magic fan since he's been a kid. So I get to know a lot about the Magic, and so it's just like, unless I'm like missing something with what Jet Howard has done, he is not developed. He just, unfortunately, has just not developed in anything else. Like, he is strictly, as you can see here, he doesn't rebound, he doesn't assist. Like, he's not a good enough ball handler to like be assisting. Isn't a good enough defender, and he just shoots the ball. But he wasn't even a good shooter in his first 2 seasons. Like, this season's been okay. It's just not good enough for me to be like, yeah, sure, let's just go ahead and get him. Like, I'm sorry, but no. I would much rather have Jace Richardson, which I know that David likes Jace Richardson, which would be tough for him, but I'm like, I would much rather take him. Noah Penda is also a guy that I'm like, yeah, I mean, it matters how much you kind of value these guys, but like, he's also had like a nice season so far. Second rounder, early in the second round though. He was picked a little bit early in the second round here, but He's been interesting. When the Bulls have played the Magic, he's definitely intrigued me when I saw him on the floor in the last game. So, he is shooting it at an extreme rate that is definitely not going to sustain, but he can definitely shoot it, and he's shown the ability to put the ball on the floor and attack closeouts. For what I've seen from him. So, I'm definitely a little bit more interested in him compared to Jet Howard as well. So I don't know which one I'd be able to get. Like, they'd probably be more willing to part ways with Penda maybe, but yeah, this might honestly be a thing because I forgot about how terrible Tyus Jones has been. Like, just a brief look at Tyus Jones's overall just stats, like you could just tell how terrible he's been. But I'm like, it'd be interesting to just kind of think how to see like they'd fit him in because like he wouldn't start. Jalen Suggs is starting alongside Desmond Bane in the backcourt, and then you have Wagner, Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. starting. It should probably also be Batadze starting, by the way. He's been much better than Wendell, but that's just my opinion at the end of the day. Anthony Black's coming off the bench. He's been pretty important to them. So is De Silva, Batadze, as I just mentioned. And yeah, Tyus Jones has also come off the bench. He's just been terrible. Isaac's played it a little bit. So if you're wondering about Isaac, right, like, you know, let's just say it's this deal and the Bulls are able to do it, right? So what about Isaac? Like, he's unfortunately, like, again, injury prone dude. The thing is with him though is like, why am I willing to take on his contract? Well, his next year of his contract is not fully guaranteed. It's only $8 million guaranteed. So the Bulls can just waive him, and they'd only be paying him $8 million for next season. Then the rest of his contract, which is, yes, a 4-year contract, but if you waive him here, then all this money is non-guaranteed. Okay, so you'd have to play out his contract for this season. So yeah, you'd be taking on his contract for this year. This is fully guaranteed, but next season though, you can just waive him, and you'd be cutting $6.5 million off the books off just doing that. And then you'd be getting rid of his other contract money for years 3 and 4 of his contract. That would be gone completely. So that's the reason why I'd be okay taking on his deal. Like, it'd be basically only taking on an extra $8 million for next season. And I would get, you know, Jace Richardson out of the deal, I guess. Which is fine. I think that'd be okay, honestly. That wouldn't hurt the Bulls' cap space too hard. I mean, it would definitely. I mean, the Bulls don't have much cap space, at least in terms of my projections already. But you would be trading Kobe White in that, so that actually might open up some cap space. Honestly, hold on, let me just run the numbers. So yeah, let's just do this instead. So as you can see here, here's my salary cap sheet for the Bulls. This is the assumption that the Bulls let go of Nikola Vucevic, Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Javon Carter, and Dalen Terry this offseason. I am factoring in a first-round pick. Obviously, that number can change, whether the Bulls go up or down, or the salary cap's not as high. But I just decided to go with the 12th overall pick just because the Bulls are probably going to pick there anyway. But let's say, for example, so I have to hold on to these cap holds of Kobe White and Io for now because I don't think the Bulls want to leave the offseason with both of them just walking, but it's possible. But if they hold on to both these cap holds, then the Bulls are going to only have, in my opinion, for what my calculations are, is $35 million in cap space. As you can see, this number right here, which is the highlighted box that I'm, you know, hovering over with my mouse right now. But if I got rid of this Kobe White cap hold, okay, and so this number would become $8 million instead. And so that becomes $8 million, and then I'm just using this for Jace Richardson's contract. I'm not using this for Terry. I'm just using this for Jace Richardson. But next season he's making $3.1 million. So like, I'm just putting in some numbers here. Okay, it's not the exact. I'm very much aware it's not the exact, but that would actually open up more cap space here. So like, this would be Jonathan Isaac and his $8 million. This would be Jace Richardson. Okay. Yeah, the Bulls would actually open up some more cap space with this deal. Assuming that obviously, like, yeah, you were going to re-sign Kobe White anyway, or you want to keep his cap hold to potentially re-sign him, and so you decided instead to do this deal, and you open up like $13 more million in cap space doing that. So I'd be interested. Honestly, I think it'd be interesting for sure. Would let's see. Sorry. I just want to see Orlando's pick thing, because like they traded all their first away that they could trade in that Desmond Bain deal, which is obviously a very it's a very intense deal for them. But I mean, I think they kind of like if things go right, obviously they hit at the right time. It's just the fact that it's been a problem for them with just trying to figure out how the whole roster works right now. But I mean, if this is the deal, right? Like, and then what do you have? I mean, would I be able to even get something else out of this? I feel like I wouldn't be able to, unfortunately. For the Bulls to send back, like, I mean, like, do you want Dalen Terry? Like, I don't think you would, but like, would you want him? Like, this actually wouldn't work because they're over the okay. So the only other guy that we can send back is Julian Phillips, and that's just like, I don't love. Hold on. Let me cook here. Hold on. Let me cook here. So that's 10 million out. I don't think the Magic would be willing to do this, but like I'd be willing to do this. I don't think they'd value Terry, honestly, but I'm trying to honestly figure out, like, would they take Trey Jones? Like, that'd be something I'm like adding Trey Jones to this deal would work. I'm like trying to figure out like what I would want in return. What is their other big contracts? Like, they have like some big contracts coming up here that they're not exactly loving. Here comes the Banchero extension, obviously. Then it's the Isaac. Oh, it's Wendell Carter. That's what I forgot. Okay, yeah. I mean, Pataz is just a better player, man. Can he stay healthy? That's the issue. I don't know, I might be cooking too hard, but like basically what I'm trying to figure out is like, I don't know how much they like this Wendell Carter Jr. deal. Like I think they're kind of like hating it right now, but I don't know, maybe they like it. But I'm just trying to think of like, okay, if I could like make this deal different where I like take Wendell and then the Bulls, like they would send out Zach Collins to kind of help them get some salary cap relief. Like I understand Bulls fans are gonna hate having Wendell back, but I'm just trying to figure out a way if I can like get some more value out of Orlando. And okay, like, this is there's so many picks, man. So okay, yeah, let's scrap that idea. Not gonna happen. You're getting like Jace Richardson, maybe like. If I get like Anthony Black in this deal, it would definitely be a different deal here. Not gonna get Anthony Black. So yeah, all right. It's probably what I talked about earlier, where it's just like Kobe for Isaac and like Jace Richardson or Noah Penda. Like I think that could happen. It could. There might be better moves out there for the Magic. $15 million is a nice kind of contract to kind of trade, and they have a lot of second rounders to kind of go ahead and trade. So I'll be interested to see if they can find a different option, but that's definitely what I'd be looking to do if I'm the Bulls. So, yeah. I'll wrap it up though. Yeah, man, it's officially time though with December 15th hitting, which is when like 95% of the league is then available via trade. It is definitely time to start looking at this sort of stuff. So we'll be spending a lot of time on these streams, kind of figuring out what exactly we're looking for, and who are like the best trade candidates, etc. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with you guys to try to see what we can do, because we're gonna have our own plan, and then AK is gonna have his plan, and I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and say that I think that AK's plan is gonna be much more disappointing than what I think we can even cook up here. And we obviously we don't have the phone calls, right? So yeah, like Kobe White for Isaac and Jace Richardson, maybe you get like a second rounder out of it, sure. But I really do think though that Kobe White for Baron J is like the best thing. Like it makes sense for both teams. It makes a lot of sense for the Timberwolves. It makes sense for the Bulls. Bulls were targeting Baron J already. Like I do think that is something we need to heavily just watch. But we'll see if maybe some other team offers something better for the Timberwolves. But that's a pretty nice offer, I think, for both sides. What about my 13th reason? What do you talk about, Salty Solution? The trade I drew up, or the Baron J for Kobe White trade? We'll wait on a response from Salty here. Okay, so next game for the Bulls is going to be on Sunday. So first off, go Bears. Secondly, I really don't think the Bulls are going to be winning this one now. I picked the Bulls to not win this one, but win against New Orleans. But now I don't feel good about this one now. So, yeah, I have a little to no faith the Bulls are going to be stopping this Pelicans team. Assuming that most of their people are going to be healthy. Is Zion not playing? I forgot if Zion got injured again or not. It just seems like Zion's always injured. Zion did get injured, right? I'm not mistaken about that. I genuinely just keep forgetting like whether Zion did get injured or is currently injured or not, but I never know. Let's see here. Let's see who's actually playing. Yeah, Zion is out. Okay. So, I mean, Trey Murphy's still here. Sadiq Bey is playing. Derek Queen's obviously playing. Jeremiah Fears. Jordan Poole's back. Okay, that's gonna be fun for us as Bulls fans to watch Jordan Poole. Okay. Yeah, I actually don't think the Bulls win this one. Now that I'm looking at this, but my hope is just though I'm not like, don't get me wrong, it's like kind of good to see this Bulls team to just like finally like win against a team that they should be winning against tonight, but it's just in the way that they won this game. It's just I don't love it. Like it's not Vooch winning the game at least, but it's you're depending on like Zach Collins and like Trey Jones like make key buckets, and like don't get me wrong, Giddey played really well down the stretch, but it just no Buzelis out there makes me feel really bad. You missed opportunities to develop Buzelis tonight against one of the worst teams in the league, so I just don't understand the thought process. So either way though, I think defensively was awful, and I don't think the Bulls are going to go out and be able to score 80 points in the paint again. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I think the Bulls actually lose this one, even though I initially in the podcast episode I said the Bulls are going to lose against Charlotte due to them being rusty and then win against New Orleans, but now I don't know. I feel like that was way too far in the Bulls' favor on offensive end for it to continue like that, but we will see. But if the Bulls are gonna win this game, I just ask that Buzelis is just involved. Like I want to see Buzelis here and playing and getting minutes, and like if he happens to fail, it doesn't matter. But the Bulls had a bunch of guys return tonight, and like he was just like a forgotten guy out there. I don't understand. It bothers the shit out of me that that's what happened tonight. So, I'm gonna hope for a better, just better overall decision making from Donovan in this game. But, I think the Bulls lose this one actually now, after what happened tonight. Defensively, the Bulls were flat out awful again. So why should I think any different? But I think losing is probably best case scenario, so I wouldn't be too mad if the Bulls lost this. But if they lose and they don't play Buzelis, then I'm going to be pissed. So, again, once again, the game plan should be give Buzelis the ball. let him develop and let him see what he can do, and hopefully then he can go out there and show good overall play. If he can't, then all right. But if he, if you don't play him and you don't give him the opportunity, then I'm gonna be pretty pissed. So, I see us winning this. Kobe dropping 30. Yeah, I definitely think there's a chance the Bulls win this. Don't get me wrong. I think after what I just saw tonight, though, where the Bulls had to rely on 80 points in the paint and like an insane shooting percentage, like, or I guess not that insane, but like overall, just like that, you shot what, 57% from the field tonight? Like, don't get me wrong, the Pelicans are 55. Like the Pelicans are also bad defensively, but I also just like, I don't think you're gonna be able to get to the paint that much against the Pelicans, but we'll see. But you also probably won't give up 16 threes to the Pelicans, so it might even out. Either way, the defense was just terrible tonight, and so when you consistently are just so bad defensively, I always feel like you're going to head into the game down. So we will end up seeing what does happen. Because again, the Bulls were losing this game for most of this game. Like from the second quarter on, it was like bad until the Bulls got the lead in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to say they lose this one. But again, losing I think is a good thing. Losing is a good thing, honestly, for this Bulls team moving forward. I won't be losing my mind if the Bulls lose this next game here. But with that being said, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in to this Bulls post-game stream. It was finally a win. We broke the streak. And they finally beat a team that they should have beaten. So, my God. Bulls play the Pelicans next, 6 p.m. Central Time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time post-game on this channel. So, be here. Coming in chat with what we end up seeing here. Once again, please go ahead and check out all my OnTap Sportsnet content. Again, article dropped this week about Patrick Williams, and then I've been doing a podcast, so I'll be going ahead and here's the link to the podcast in chat right now. I will be posting this in my community tab after the stream, and then here's my link to my latest article. So please go ahead and check this stuff out. I sincerely do appreciate it. Also give Alejandro and Trey some love and support, because like they were also great on the most recent podcast. So please go ahead and support them. They've been great. And any feedback on my Patrick Williams article, I sincerely do appreciate. I really do appreciate all the feedback. If you have not hit the like button on the stream yet, please do. Helps me out a lot, and we can all hit the like button for a Bulls win. They actually looked like a competent team out there tonight compared to their most recent games. And if you're new to the channel like Bulls content, please subscribe. We're making Bulls content all season long. And I'll be with you even through all the lows. So don't worry, I'm still here even when this Bulls team ends up being absolutely just unacceptable when it comes to their level of play. With that being said, though, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Thank you all for a great stream, and be safe. Have a good night. All right, y'all. Thank you. Peace.